broken system, chained and tangled up in lies. Voices shouting, screaming in defeat. Politicians playing games under darkened skies. Hope lost in the dust of the street. Red and blue, colors pouring from the sky. Debates turn to anger, the crowd gets loud. Punches flying in the blink of an eye. Truth buried deep beneath the shroud. Welcome to the bullpen, where we don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Faces on the screen, flashing perfect teeth. But behind those eyes just rotting greed. Politicians turn to whispers beneath. They all just get what they need. Whispering conspiracies, drowning in their lies. Echoes of freedom, lost in cries. Spin the wheel of fate, let's see who rise. But this game will bleed you dry. Welcome to the bullpen, where we don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak don't survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive.
Hey, everybody. It's another Sunday night and another episode of The Bullpen. So thanks for being here. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. How was you guys' Christmas? Comix, Chad?
It was good, man. It was good. I got to see my mom and then spend time with the wife's family. And, it was good. Got a
Awesome.
bottle of whiskey from my father-in-law, which is
put it
Basil
up to
Hayden here.
And which one is it?
It says Subtle Smoke, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, artfully aged.
Subtle Smoke, huh?
Yeah.
And you said it's pretty good?
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Awesome. Chad, how about you?
It was a very nice Christmas. We had family time. Santa came and visited and did all his good stuff. By the way, what is the right? I'm getting in an argument now with my wife. Do you, at a certain point, tell your kids there's no Santa, or do you let them only find out on their own?
Ah, dude.
How old?
I don't have kids. I couldn't tell you.
11.
How old is he?
11. So if he knows, he hasn't let on it yet.
You're getting to the point that he's going to get made fun of if he still thinks Santa exists.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we homeschool. So I don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
true.
Not to mention, I believe that there's no reason that Santa can't be around. Maybe he's just doing the business that I don't do. I mean, he is a recognized Catholic saint.
Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, St. Nicholas obviously is. So, yeah. I don't know, dude. I couldn't tell you what the right answer is. I would say he's probably getting close to that age to be clued in that Santa's not real.
I would say by teens, you definitely need to have the talk.
Yeah. Definitely.
So,
Because
yeah,
if you
well,
can have the other talk with him, you can probably have the freaking Santa talk with him.
I feel like the other talk is more practical, whereas the Santa talk, I want him to have faith. Why would I want to take away the faith?
See,
Well, I mean, there's eventually going to be a point in time where your kids will be like, "You lied to me."
But I didn't.
for a long, long time.
Long time.
I am just
You
merely.
lied.
I think that it's important to allow for Christmas magic. I now see that you guys, there is no pleasing you.
See,
There is no pleasing you.
our thing was once the older daughter found out, then I mean the whole thing's blown. So, the younger one found out at the same time. So at that point, we started making not the best gift from Santa. We made sure they knew it was us that was getting them.
I never gave
Everything.
the best gift from Santa. That was bullshit. I was getting credit, damn it.
We did like even when I was little, like the Nintendo was left under the tree by Santa. The winter or the December that I got it.
Now, partially, it might be my fault because I go the extra mile and make sure that Santa brings gift for my wife and myself as well, so that it doesn't look like then we don't have the, well, why would Santa only give you a gift? And I was like, no, now they're little like podunk things.
Well,
but
because you were a bad kid throughout the year, Chad. So
no, I am clearly
that's why
on the
you
nice
don't
list.
get anything.
You may be on
I
the
actually
naughty
was
list.
on the nice list last year. From the Santa Decides Twitter account, I was put on to the nice list. I got the post. Definitive.
Okay.
And I actually got a couple pretty good presents this year. Usually I get like socks. This year I got an Omni mount, so my camera's here now and lights are up there and screens everywhere. I'm up to 4 screens now because I also got an ultra wide curved monitor. So
Nice. I don't have an ultra
got
wide.
2
but I have a-
curved at the
I got
bottom
2
and
curved
then 2
monitors.
flats up top.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
yeah, I mean, technically I picked all of it out, but I got nice gifts. Useful
wrong with
gifts, at least.
Nothing
So.
wrong with that.
Well, since we're talking Christmas, maybe we should just start with that for the topic since it was Christmas week. We'll have one good Christmas topic and one bad Christmas topic. Let's start with the bad so we can end on the good.
Okay.
I know you've already seen this comics because I'm pretty sure it got played on FNT, and I'm sure Chad came across it because it was pretty hard not to. But we can break down this fun.
Oh God, this. Yes, we did talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even want to full screen it. We'll just play it because everybody knows who it is. It's Jimmy Kimmel. He is on the UK Channel 4 doing the response to the King's speech.
I honestly have no idea what's going on over there. I do know what's going on.
He makes that very clear that he has no idea what's going on over there.
Well, the funny thing about it is that Disbrew was talking about it since he's, obviously British. And a lot of the whole thing, the response to the Royals is essentially supposed to be humorous and self-deprecating. And everything that he talks about here has nothing to do with England. And it's so weird that they would have him on. I'm sure like a lot of people in the UK would be like, why?
Now, I did take offense at you guys on FNT saying nobody would sit around in a sweater like that with a white shirt and tie. And yet I do sit in a smoking parlor with a
well, I
smoking
mean,
jacket
that's
quite
a little
often.
different. I mean, I wouldn't be offended by our statements, but I think it is a statement of fact that most people, you obviously being the exception, would not be doing this.
And maybe Michael Knowles.
Well, yeah.
Chad, did you see this address?
I did not, and I saw like people comment, posting it, and I just didn't bother watching it. So
Going on over here, though, and I can tell you that
he's
from a
such a douche.
fascism perspective,
Yes.
this has been a really great year. Tyranny
From a
is
fascism
booming over here.
perspective.
Tyranny is booming over here. I was taken off of a show for 3 days by my channel or by my producers and company because all of our sponsors were dropping on all the local affiliates. But somehow that was Trump being tyrannical.
Yeah.
You may have read in your colorful newspapers, my country's president would like to shut me up because I don't adore him in the way he likes to be adored.
Oh, fuck
The
off.
American government made a threat against me and the company I work for, and all of a sudden we're off the air. And because so many people spoke out,
And don't
we
worry,
came
it's
back.
not the
Our
full
show
thing.
came back stronger than ever. We won, the president lost, and now I'm back on the air every night. We are not bright. We're Americans. No one knows better than you. We're always just a little bit late to the game. But do we come through in the end? Maybe. Give us about 3 years, please. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for Spider-Man. Merry Christmas and
Fuck
happy
the
holidays.
right
I was
off.
like, thank you for Spider-Man. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's talking about.
Screw Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing about we're not very smart, we're dumb people. It'll take us about 3 years to get where you are. It's like, I certainly hope we are not where they are in 3 years, because they've lost their country.
Yeah.
Like I said, his opening statement of, I don't even know what's going on in your country, pretty self-evident there.
Clearly, he does not pay attention to the news.
No, he has writers that make jokes about Trump. That's about it. And he interviews Democrats and celebrities. He's a useless, feckless human being.
Yeah. Well, and the
Remember the Man Show? Remember when he almost could have actually, been looked at as cool for a little bit?
yeah, I think the issue too here is the fact that, for a number of reasons, obviously, he wasn't pulled off the air. Because of the comments about Trump, because he's still making them. And obviously, he's still here. I'm kind of curious if there was a comedian in the UK making fun of Keir Starmer, and if they would be in prison or not. Because at this point, the UK doesn't have free speech. If you basically criticize what is going on in their country, you're going to jail. So the irony
he made
of him
comments
talking about
about that
American
during this.
fascism, and then and basically giving an address to the British people who are basically living under fascism. So.
Yeah. Let's get this
Fuck that
real
guy.
quick. From The Beast, celebrating
Beast?
3 months of membership. Aloha, gentlemen, and chat. I'm glad to be able to support y'all when and where I can. Appreciate what y'all do. Remain blessed, everybody. You too, The
Yes,
Beast. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Aloha.
Thank you very
So-
much. That's nice.
So yeah, Kimmel's a jackass. We all know that. That's why I did the shortened version of the clip instead of the 3 or 4 minute version that was going around everywhere, because
God,
I
that's
did
too
not want
fucking
to
long.
have to sit through that crap. But yeah, he
It
doesn't
felt like it
get
took forever.
Oh yeah, well, especially if you pause every couple of seconds. But just to contrast that, we did have some fun Christmas stuff that we can show. The funniest president in the history of presidencies. Let me bring this up real quick. So this was Trump doing the Santa tracker phone calls.
Not cool.
Not coal. No, you don't want coal. Well, coal is, you mean clean, beautiful coal. I had to do that, I'm sorry. No, coal is clean and beautiful. Please remember that at all costs.
What do you want for Christmas? Not coal? You mean clean, beautiful coal? The best coal, clean?
But you don't want clean, beautiful coal, right?
No.
What would you like?
Barbie, the American Girl doll.
Barbie? Okay. Well, you'll get that, I'm sure. What else? Anything?
The perfect politician. He turns a call with a child saying that she doesn't want a lump of coal into clean, beautiful coal and energy talk.
Clean,
The way a
beautiful coal.
politician always will. Then he gets to it. I mean, you'll get a Barbie, sure. Then we got another clip of him.
Yeah. Good.
So the mom, since it's a little bit hard to hear, the mom is asking, how come Santa has a tracker on him? Because obviously it's the NORAD tracker is the reason they're doing this. But
Well, we track Santa all over the world. We want to make sure that Santa is being good. Santa's a very good person. We want to make sure that he's not infiltrated, that we're not infiltrating into our country a bad Santa. We found out that Santa is
that we're not
I will-
infiltrating into our country a bad Santa.
If we find out Santa's been compromised, I'll drone his ass. I'll get on the phone with the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and I'll say, Pete,
Let's be honest. The reason why they're tracking Santa is to make sure Kwanzaa bot doesn't slip into the U.S.
hold on. I'm gonna say, Pete, there's some bad elves on that. Bad elves. We got to take them out. And then the
Pete,
next,
when did Santa switch into that Venezuelan boat instead of the sleigh?
Pete,
Can you check into that? It seems like he's been infiltrated.
Pete,
Well,
go ahead
Pete,
and
We should
drop
go
in.
look into Kwanzaa bot. He seems to be in cahoots with the Somalis.
Launch the tomahawks,
He's
Pete.
the one that's smuggling the money out of the United States. So let's drone strike his ass into oblivion.
Go ahead.
Double
and
tap that flying fat man.
And I can tell you, you can go ahead and release the video to Schumer. You know, he's one of those people. He won't mind.
Santa loves you. Santa loves Oklahoma like I do. You know, Oklahoma was very good to me in the election. So I love
Oh, he
Oklahoma.
loves the.
Don't ever leave Oklahoma, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
Good. That's good. And
Eddie, you got a question?
go ahead, hon.
Went much better than the Let's Go Brandon Santa tracker that Biden had, remember?
No, I don't remember that one.
You don't remember? Like the first year when the Let's Go Brandon thing really was going
Well, I remember
wild.
the Let's Go Brandon thing. I don't remember the Let's Go Brandon
He was
tracker.
on a call and the kid finished his question and then the dad just ends it with, "Let's go, Brandon."
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And Biden's like, "Yeah, let's go. Come on, man."
You know who's a big friend of Brandon is the smartest man I know, Hunter.
Little
He
Hunty.
said he knows a guy named Brandon who helps him get supplies that he needs on a bi-weekly basis. Oh, poor.
So yeah.
I believe they
We
call
had
it
some fun
Bavarian
with
marching powder. Little nose candy.
Lot of nose candy. Some of it got left in a locker in the White House. So yeah,
Totally no idea
we
how
got
that
some
happened.
good Christmas and some bad Christmas to just close out Christmas week as we're going into the new year. And Trump has not slowed down at all this week. So he met with Zelensky today. Chad, you may have heard more. The only thing I've heard is that the Donbass seems to be the sticking point.
The
Because
They
Donbass
don't want to
region?
give the
no, Donbass.
Donbass.
Yeah, which is Eastern.
I just like calling it the
Donbass.
Donbass region.
Yeah.
Yeah, little speaking of someone who enjoys his nose candy, Zelensky, as a puppet of the European powers, is standing by that he doesn't want to give up the Donbass, which is a Russian-speaking, ethnically Russian region that aligns with Russia and has forever, and that Putin effectively controls 95% of as of now.
Right.
He's not giving it back.
And it seems to be the only sticking point still left.
Yeah, so-
Zelensky's just trying to save face in any way he can.
Yeah, so their their 20-point plan that countered the leaked Trump plan was that the Donbass region would become a demilitarized zone where that is effectively run independently with the people living there, but is not it's not really a territory of either, but it's still on the books for Ukraine, even though it's demilitarized, which is effectively what it had been doing prior to. And again, this is where people have very short memories before they put the Ukraine flag in their bio. This region was getting assaulted by the Azov battalion. There was atrocities being committed because they were ethnically Russian, and they would vote
the actual Nazi battalion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they would vote for what at least is, per European reporting, Russian-aligned political parties. People forget that the previous administration, prior to...
They would have voted themselves back into Russia if they could have.
Well, yeah. And they just weren't giving that option. It's
Right.
just like the part of
It's like
Virginia I live
portions
in...
of Canada that won out.
Mm-hmm.
The part of Virginia I live in would vote themselves joining West Virginia in a heartbeat right now, but they are not allowed to. Even though some West Virginia politicians have formally offered to take the panhandle of Maryland and basically most of the Shenandoah Valley in Western Virginia. But Virginia won't give it up. but but in this case, Zelensky Putin has no reason to accede to this decision. Like, he controls the territory. He has spent the time and effort to take it. This is what his priority was. We've talked about it going back to when we first started the show. What Putin wants is that eastern Ukraine zone, which is the coastline leading up to Crimea, so that he can keep his Black Sea fleet operational out of there, and that he takes care of the ethnically Russian zones.
So what it sounds like Putin has offered is, yeah, you're not getting land back. Zelensky is trying to save face, saying, well, we want the land back. He's going to put up a small fight on it. But Putin came out, believe him or not, it was basically like, no, we want a strong Ukraine. They can never be a part of NATO, and we will sell them cheap energy, and we will make sure Ukraine, is fine going forward. But we're taking this. That's part of how war works and conquest. You don't just go back to the original lines in almost any war ever. Something is given and taken. So
yeah,
that was my take from what I was hearing from what came out of the meeting today.
100%. Putin's not going to. There's 2 points that he's not going to acquiesce on ever: NATO membership
and land.
And the Eastern Zone. That is important. It is key, super important strategically. He took back Crimea in the Obama administration. He finished
without anybody raising even a whimper.
He finished the move he wanted to make now within the Biden administration. And the reason, like, people are always like, oh, well, Ukraine is holding them off. It's like Russia didn't commit to, they're not trying to take, like, I think it was a miscalculation on the previous American military leadership to even think that Putin wanted to take all of Ukraine. Taking and holding territory requires a ton of troops. Like,
they were fear mongering everything, saying he wanted to then go into Poland and then go and sweep across the rest of Europe. And it's like, what has ever been said that makes anybody actually believe that that's the case? All he's ever looked at was that portion of Ukraine. That's all he's ever really pushed into. That's all he stated he wanted.
I mean, go back to that Tucker interview. He can riff for hours on end on the historic claims of ownership of Russia for the territory. So
Russia itself, not necessarily the Soviet Russia, but Russia.
Yeah. So what he wants as the key things that Putin wants are the Eastern Ukraine zone he already controls, leading to Crimea, and Ukraine to never, ever, ever go into NATO. He doesn't care if they go to the European Union. He could give an F. The European Union is an economic thing. He knows that they don't ever have teeth militarily. But
well, NATO I wouldn't be surprised if as soon as Trump gets this settled, if he just says we're out of NATO. Just like the WHO, which is one of Trump's many wins this year, getting us out of the WHO. And now it's starting to sound like we should just say screw you to the UN too. Because they're trying to, what is the actual term that they were trying to do with us? They're basically taking votes on whether to not sanction us, but to make us more solitary. It's like, you guys know you meet here in our building, right? I mean, we'll just sell the building. Have fun with your UN over in your little play group over there in Europe. Who cares?
So, yeah, I mean, I don't think Trump is going to waste political capital actually withdrawing from NATO, because as long as the way it's set up, the United States would have veto power over any actions anyway. So he probably doesn't, I would say from a rational actor standpoint, it's not worth expending the capital right now when you have other things that are higher priorities, and you can still effectively, neuter NATO's ability to do anything stupid. Like, if the United States votes against it, they don't get it. So, I mean, yeah, in the theory, another administration could come back and overrule that once they're there. But I don't
Well,
think,
just like we did with the Paris Climate Accords, he
Mhm.
pulled out, Biden put us back in, we pulled right back out. Sure. NATO's slightly different, but
I mean,
yeah.
for someone with as many kids as Trump has, it's clear his pullout game is strong. He gets us out of those things.
At least his pullout game is strong with women that aren't his wife. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Marla Maples wasn't his wife when he started with her.
He was
I have
laying
to look.
claim.
She was Greenland.
Or Canada.
Are you trying to say she's a conquered territory?
Yeah. A 51st state.
Trump got a kid bonus out of it, like in Risk. He's like,
You get extra soldiers for conquering the whole continent.
so this is a good question. Like, what can NATO do and the UN do without the United States? The answer is nothing.
They can do stuff on their own and not have us have to try to be pulled in on everything that they try to start fights on. I mean, at this point, Europe, I mean, they seem to be, for the last year, they seem to have been willing to go to war with Putin, if only they could figure out a way to pull us in. Because none of the rhetoric coming out of there is, yeah, we want to make any kind of peace we can. It's been, nope, we have to back Ukraine all the way until the end. If the end is nuclear war, I guess that's what we're going to do.
Fucking retarded.
Yeah, for Ukraine. Makes you wonder how many of their leftist politicians are laundering money through there as well.
Probably quite a bit.
And it's probably a lot of our money getting laundered back to the European Union from back when we were giving billions to the Ukraine.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, that Ukraine has been a slush fund of circular monetary gain for a long time.
Yeah.
Whether we,
So Trump, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say whether we can. I don't understand. It's the real end game for Ukraine, and this is where I don't know if Trump has the capital to do that or not yet. Is cutting off the U.S. support for the operations, the military assistance, the budget assistance. Not that I don't think that Russia would roll through, because, like I was saying, I don't think Russia really wants to take any more
I don't think
territory
they
than
care.
they've got. They won't, because, again, the lesson, look at what they learned from Afghanistan, which was their version of Vietnam, and then watching the United States pull off the same mistakes in Afghanistan that they did, which is when you take a hostile territory, controlling a large segment of land that is hostile to you requires so many troops that
Yeah,
if you don't
occupation is different. Yeah.
yeah. So for Putin, when he takes over the ethnically Russian regions of Ukraine, he has no worries about that. He doesn't have to occupy. He can create it like this. This is where it's important. If you're trying to create a defensive line, what you absolutely don't want happening is guerrilla actions behind your front, because then
Right.
you're
The reason to not want to take the rest of Ukraine is Ukraine was supposed to be the buffer and can
Yeah.
still be the buffer between
Yeah.
NATO and Russia. You take the
Yes.
portions of Ukraine that you're wanting there, leave the rest of Ukraine intact as a neutral zone, essentially.
Exactly. So you take, if you're Russia, you take over Crimea, Donbass, all the regions that are ethnically Russian. You then station your military bases there. We already know they have the Black Sea Fleet naval bases. They'll create some army bases as well. It'll be very reminiscent of North Korea, where we have, the demilitarized zone.
Yeah.
Then the rest of Ukraine, not allowed to join NATO, which is key. They are a non-aligned country from a defensive and military perspective, becomes the buffer, where before any major NATO action could happen, they would have, they would be very aware of it and have plenty of ability.
You
to
don't have NATO
deal
on
with
your
it.
border. You've got
Exactly.
a full country buffer. So there's not going to be these little, you know, not state lines, but country lines where somebody accidentally crosses over and suddenly Russia's invading Poland or whatever.
Well,
Ukraine stays the buffer.
I'm going to be honest. Like Poland joining NATO is what really made Ukraine a even bigger problem. So Poland joined NATO in the end of the 90s. The Russians at the time were not. That was when Putin was kind of coming into power.
Right after
As-
Medvedev. Or before Medvedev.
That was after Yeltsin.
Yeltsin
Yeltsin was
then
weak.
Putin,
Yeltsin,
then Medvedev, then Putin again, right?
I'll be honest, like Poland and like the movement of putting in a lot of those countries into NATO and things probably helped secure Putin's ability to take over, because you're creating now, NATO is encroaching. NATO was never supposed to go that far. If you look at the treaties when the Soviet Union fell, we agreed like, nope, we're not going to do that. And then NATO,
All the
immediately
missiles go
mission creep.
here, the rest of the missiles go there, and these lines don't change.
I mean, and what is the actual strategic reason for NATO to exist? NATO was a counterpoint
To the Soviets.
to the Soviets, then NATO, then versus the Warsaw Pact. It was a mutually assured destruction scenario where if you were Russia as a Soviet expansionist state, and remember, Russia at the time controlled half of Germany.
Yep.
There was a real concern that Russia was going to move to take over even more chunks of Europe at the time. You create NATO. NATO then makes it a zero-sum game for Russia to mess with, taking any more European territory. Russia is no longer the Soviet Union. Why are we even? What is like that?
That's what I'm saying. What is the purpose of
Yeah.
NATO at this point without a Soviet Union to be
The
wary
answer
of?
is there isn't.
Yeah.
Sure, Russia still has missiles, but lots of places have missiles now.
Yeah, well, lots of places have missiles, but I mean, I think the issue is that the more we keep, or I should say, the longer we keep NATO around, the more Russia's going to view us as an enemy because we view them as an enemy.
Looks
But
like we
do
got
we?
something coming from Mod RK over there for you, bro.
Yep.
Well,
Mod Eric K for $1 on the Rumble side. Thank you, sir. NATO was not supposed to encroach on Russia at all. We have broken that, and Ukraine, we were warned last straw. Biden started this so him and his family could get rich along with others. Yes, in the weeks before the invasion, Biden had Kamala Harris over there. He had his Secretary of State over there talking with Ukraine about joining NATO. And Putin said, not going to happen. If you keep talking about it like it's going to happen, then I'm going to take steps. He saw it as an opening because Biden's a freaking idiot. Also, Deadman for $4.99 on the YouTube side. Did you see that we are getting a new USS Enterprise? Can we change Space Force to Starfleet next?
Is that going to be the next generation carrier? I know that the new battleship that they're being the first Trump class battleship is going to be named the Defiant.
In the Golden Fleet?
And yeah, which there is definitely a purpose for, and as we I think talked about a little bit, the battleship concept coming back is mainly because the Navy is losing a lot of its missile capability within the submarine fleet, and so using battleships as a high destruction missile carrier, and they're going to have rail guns. Very excited to see genuine rail guns in action. Apparently, the Japanese Navy perfected a system when we had abandoned it, and so now we're gonna.
oh, really? So they actually perfected the railgun.
Yeah, they made it usable where it doesn't break. Like the U.S. Navy had been doing experiments, and our problem was, I guess, after like 2 shots, our barrel would just
snap.
would just be done. And the Japanese Navy used a different system with some different size ammunition that manages to make the barrel functional without having some of these problems.
Kind of like they've managed to have high-speed rails and other things that they've been working on over there that California hasn't been able to do for 20 years.
But the question is, could
I
they
know,
actually make it a
different
sidearm?
stuff. Right.
Mod-
Yeah, allegedly there's a-
without the barrel melting.
Yeah, allegedly there's a rail gun out there. So. Allegedly.
Eric K says, for $1, we overthrew the lawful Ukraine government to install Zelensky. We had senators over in Ukraine celebrating when it happened.
Mm.
We had senators over in Ukraine celebrating during the war. Like, while everybody's saying how horrible it is in Ukraine, we've got our senators and celebrities going over there partying with their teenagers. I don't know if people remember all those videos back when the war first started.
Well, I remember when the celebrities were over
yeah.
there. I remember when what's his name was there. Fuck.
Probably Sean Penn.
Well, Sean Penn was one of them.
Sean Penn likes to get involved in that crap.
No, it was the other dude. Totally blanking on his name. Oh well. I have to go look it up real quick.
And Eric brings up also, do not forget that Russia wanted to join NATO even before Poland did and asked many times. This is all scripted to weaken Russia. What I don't understand that one. What would be the point of Russia joining in NATO to guard against Russia?
Well,
I mean, I would think they would more want to enter into trade deals.
I mean, it's not a beyond the realm of if you're from a strategic standpoint, the way NATO is set up, if Russia were to join, they could effectively veto any action. it's
if
actually,
you gave them veto power.
Every NATO member country gets veto power.
Ben Stiller.
That's the thing about NATO.
Then Caleb Levine got it before you did.
Yeah, Caleb did.
Chat.
Yeah, so if you let Russia in, they could veto any action. It's almost like the Security Council, like how China and Russia being on the Security Council has always kept us from being able to do anything meaningful in terms of UN actions because they have veto power.
But when this one's set up directly to counter Russia, it seems a little bit strange to try to let them enter because even then your defense article is going to kick in without any votes.
What? No,
which is the major portion.
That's no. That's not how the defense article works in NATO. You still, all the member states still have to vote to take action under the article. And if any one member state says no, they take no action.
Which seems like it would be even more antithetical to having Russia in there if Russia could just attack somebody and then everybody says, all right, we all have to go to defense. And Russia says, well, no, you're not allowed to fight us.
That's the reason Russia would want. That's why it was floated.
It seems like that would just be dissolving NATO at that point.
Well, it would just make it a meaningless body,
right?
Which is what
like
the UN is.
Yeah.
But that's how. I mean, that is a way to neuter NATO without dissolving NATO.
Sure.
I mean, there's already a risk right now, and it was talked about a long time before Russia was the new hotness for the thing everybody was worried about. The fact that Turkey under Erdogan, is in NATO and has veto power over NATO actions is also a big problem.
Yeah.
Because of Turkey's strategic location and the fact that that's where we position a lot of assets to be able to reach Middle East and Eastern Europe very quickly, we let Erdogan, I think that's how it's pronounced.
Erdogan, yeah.
Get away with like all sorts of shit that he shouldn't.
Right, there are bad people in NATO. Yeah. Eric K for another $1 on Rumble. Good news is all ski lifts are open at the ski resorts in Ukraine, and they are packed. Yeah, it's been a weird war where almost everything I've seen come out of this, outside of those early days, has just been Ukrainians living their lives just fine. And, ski resorts are just fine. The nightclubs are just fine. Nothing going on anywhere. Nobody ever seems worried. And we keep being told that, all the males have just been driven off to the front lines. I don't see any coverage of that. Which again makes me not trust mainstream media. because you don't get any real information coming out of these places. It's kind of like the other war that is coming to an end, and that's where Trump he does not have any time where he stops. He's got a 1 p.m. meeting with Netanyahu tomorrow, after meeting with Zelensky today. So, but I mean, the information coming out of that war, and when did we start trusting Gaza's numbers? I never have, but the number I still get seeing thrown around nonstop, 50 to 70,000 children, Gazan children. It's like, I'm sure there was a large number of civilians died because of the way Palestinians conducted this war, or Hamas conducted the war, hiding behind civilian targets. But that doesn't make me turn around and agree with the numbers coming out of them.
Mm.
Even a ton of people, right-wing pundits, have been accepting those numbers, and it's like, when did we start doing that? Because they also reported that Israel shot a hospital early on, and it was their missile that fell on it, not Israel's. So, I mean, I don't trust anything coming out on either of these things.
Yeah, I mean, you should question everything.
And we try to.
Mm.
I did have something funny out of the Zelensky meeting, though, today. So they're
What's
at
that?
Mar-a-Lago.
Did he have a dusty nose again?
No. This is Trump interacting with the reporters after the meeting.
Are you okay? Is everyone fine? Margot, if you would, I think you could sit outside and have some food. Would you like to have food, or do you consider that a bribe? And therefore you cannot write honestly, or therefore you have to write a bad story? Okay, because if you'd like, would you like something to eat at this time? Yes or no? You can speak. Yes, sir. Yes? Okay. Margot, take them outside, tell the chef, serve them a little lunch, okay?
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
That should guarantee good stories,
Thank
but
you,
it
press.
won't.
Thanks, guys. We're done.
They'll only get worse. So go out of their way to make them worse. She gave us a hamburger. We have to make them good.
Alex, thanks. Press. Thank you, press. Thank you,
Either way, go outside on the porch.
That's one way to get rid of the press. Hey, you guys hungry? You want to go sit on the porch? I'll give you food.
That's funny.
I just think he's hilarious. Just the manner in which he speaks and the things he comes up with. We really kind of need to get the press out of here. Hey, you guys hungry? You wanna follow my minion out onto the porch? We'll give you some food. You want a treat? Write a nice story.
Probably want a cracker.
Yeah. So I don't know much on the Netanyahu and Trump meeting tomorrow. I haven't heard many details on what's going on with that, other than that it's happening at 1 p.m. I believe
the
also
way,
at Mar-a-Lago.
I do appreciate that Zelensky puts on a goddamn jacket now when he comes and meets Trump.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, JD
like,
kind of set him straight on that, huh?
every single time. Now it's the same jacket. He seems like he owns one, but
He borrows it from somebody.
I mean, you'd think for as much money we've been funding, he could go to Men's Warehouse and get a buy two get one free or something.
What's the fun in that?
No, he's got to keep all that money in holding until he's out of office, and they start to come after him and try to kill him. Because I'm pretty sure that's why he's trying to keep it going, is just to save his own hide. Because I don't know that even the Ukrainians like him anymore. And Putin definitely, once he's out of office, will probably be looking at... Remember that problem we had, Zelensky? There's ways of taking care of it. He's no longer in office. And he's, 3 years past when he should have had the last elections now?
It was fairly close to when he was supposed to have elections when the war broke out, and he suspended them.
He
also
suspended church and
all the things we would consider fundamental God-given rights
in a democracy. Yeah.
Yep.
But he was allowed to just suspend them. I guess that's in their constitution, though.
I guess.
yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. I do have something I think you guys will find disheartening and hilarious at the same time. So try to figure out what is going on in this clip, and then I will reveal who this gentleman is and who the lady next to him is once we get to the end of it. I'm not going to full screen it just because, well, actually, if you guys are trying to figure it out, we'll full screen it. But
Oh, that's the mayor of.
So I'm
Shush.
advised by counsel for the respondent that they indeed encourage this and had substitution and have no objection and waive any objection they would have to the use of your services as a translator here. The division has a concern and has raised an objection.
That's pretty much all we need of it. But
So he has a translator.
yes, the new mayor of Lawrence, Massachusetts, cannot speak English. That's the mayor that can't speak English, trying to talk with the rest of the city government officials. And he has to have a freaking translator on staff to tell him what is being said.
I think I saw that it said he had been in the country for like 27 years.
What the actual fuck? I mean, how did the people of a city elect a mayor who can't even speak the fucking language? That is ridiculous.
Because the city's made up of the same people that he is. That's what we're saying about the assimilation.
Is he
No, he's not Somali.
What is he?
I think he's Dominican.
Still, dude, what the fuck?
But once you get pockets in any of the cities, those pockets vote for what they want, not what's best for their city or for our country. The lack of assimilation is real. Not Israel, is real.
No, I know. Yeah. Lack of assimilation is Israel. What? No, that's just crazy.
That's what most
dude.
people say about anybody who's speaking out on the right now. You haven't assimilated with Israel.
What we need to do is we need to start going to countries and migrating there and just take them over like that. We gotta start playing their fucking game.
I don't want any of their countries. I just want them out of mine.
Oh, I know, but still, it's just one of
But
those.
you heard the story about Mexico, where there's so many people that have gone down there that the Mexicans are now pissed off that when they go to restaurants and go to the marketplace, they're hearing more English than they are Spanish, and it pisses them off.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
I kind of like that story.
I do too. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So,
and I know Trump has declared English the official language of the United States.
That needs to be fucking codified.
Congress needs to just codify it. I
codify
don't know why there's anything that would stop us from doing that other than bleeding heart liberals. Yeah.
Did you see that post? It's one of the typical liberal brainlets that show up in my feed. And they're talking about expelling Ilhan Omar from Congress. And they're like, that's racist. It's like, whatever. Bitch needs to be
She's a racist. Every speech she gives to Somalians is basically, we are here to take money from America and send it back to Somalia. They don't rule us. We rule them.
Mm-hmm.
And she makes comments about the white man all the time. So, yeah, I don't want to hear about it being racist to get her out of our country when she obviously has far more allegiance to Somalia than she does to us.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the case for almost all of them.
Yeah.
The level of assimilation amongst Somalians is close to zero. They all congregate together, and they all apparently steal all of our money together. So I guess, yeah, we're 48 minutes into it. We might as well jump into the big stories. So I don't know if you guys saw the Nick Shirley video. It was about a 40-minute video where he just went from daycare to daycare to daycare in Minnesota.
I've not seen it. I've heard about it, though.
Okay, so he was basically, do you guys have room to have my child in daycare? Whole bunch of people that don't speak English? No. Every single place he went to that was registered as a Somali daycare, nobody had an actual daycare. At no point were any kids going in. At no point were any kids going out. Anytime they checked, morning, afternoon, or evening, there was nothing. And they've taken, what, 250 million, I think it was, for daycares specifically. So you got that going on. Now you've got Cernovich is over in Ohio, did the same kind of test, going and checking out some of the daycares that have sprung up around there. And yeah, Ohio seems to have just as big a problem, if not worse, specifically with the daycare situation. I did want to play a video just to remind some people about what was said during the last election, if I can find that specific video, because I had it queued up and now it seems to be gone. Yeah, here we go. Nope, that's the wrong one. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, we will.
Here it is.
We will.
Okay. So this is a video from the vice presidential debate. I'm sure we all remember this guy who's now going to be called into the House Oversight Committee to explain what the hell is going on in his state with all of these funds. But listen to specifically what he was saying grows businesses in Minnesota.
We in Minnesota passed a paid family medical leave. You have a child, and I had to go back to work 5 days after my kids were born. This allows you to stay home a certain amount of time. What we know is that gets the child off to a better start. The family works better. We stay in their employers. We get more consistency in that. So Kamala Harris has made it a priority. We implemented it in Minnesota, and we see growth. That's how you become a pro-business state. And so a paid family medical leave program, and I will tell you, go to the families or go to the businesses and ask them. As far as childcare on this, you have to take it at both the supply and the demand side.
People are going to the businesses and they're finding out the businesses don't exist.
You can't expect the most important people in our lives to take either our children or our parents to get paid the least amount of money. And we have to make it easier for folks to be able to get into that business and then to make sure that folks are able to pay for that. We were able to do it in Minnesota, and I'm still telling you this. We were listed as the best state. We're still in crisis on this. A federal program of paid family and medical leave and help with this will enhance our workforce, enhance our families, and make it easier to have the children that you want. We in Minnesota...
So that was specifically about the Paid Medical Leave Act, but it's also about him creating the daycares that they were doing in Minnesota, which turns out all to be slush fund
Can
and
I
grid
tell you,
and fraud.
So as this is blowing up, the paid leave law that it's just gone into effect in Minnesota. It is such a fucking retarded law. We are in my line of work. I'm already getting notices because I deal with employees in Minnesota sometimes, and we're already getting, like, on the back end, notices about how this law is just designed to F employers and is ripe for falsity, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you just have to suck it up. Like, if you're going to operate having employees in Minnesota, it just is what it is. So be super careful about who you hire to work for you in Minnesota, because they will be able to just abuse this new leave situation. I don't know, because it seems like if I was conspiratorial, which I am,
You should be.
I would say that the law looks like it was written by the same Somali grifters to provide them an additional new line of revenue without even having to open a business.
Oh, I've got something on that too, to a degree. We've got this guy talking about the other grift that's going on in Minnesota. The ambulances that have been authorized under these new acts that Minnesota has put through. So let's check out this one.
I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation, contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
Damn.
So we've got yet another level of grift and fraud happening in Minnesota from the Somalians. And almost all of it. Mm-hmm. So you've got the autistic children thing, then you've got the daycare, now you've got medical transportation. All of it is coming through the federally funded medical side of things. And they're just writing blank checks to these people. Meanwhile, I get to write checks to the government every year. I think you guys do too.
Yeah, pretty much.
Infuriating.
Very much so.
And
So
it just more and more just keeps coming out.
So I'm going to share the screen real quick because I want as an example, like this is the Minnesota like explainer of what's covered. Like, how do you take, when do you qualify to take paid medical leave through the Minnesota program? So you can take medical leave to care for
Hold on, let me blow it up.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, so you can take medical leave to care for your own health condition, which is the normal, like what you're used to with like FMLA or things like that. This can include pregnancy or childbirth, surgery, chronic condition, injury, or other health needs your provider certifies. Let me explain how that's a broad fucking brush right there. Like, how some people are whacked out of their mind and think they're adult babies.
Or that they're just the other sex.
Yeah, so if your doctor says this person is agoraphobic and, just can't go to work anymore,
you can appoint a spouse or a boyfriend and say, hey, now you get paid by the federal government to take care of me as your spouse or boyfriend living in the house just because a doctor gave me any quack prognosis.
So now here's the next
Is that where you're going with it?
Yeah, exactly. Now, in addition to your own problems, you get family leave to bond with a child through birth, adoption, or foster placement, to care for a family member with a serious condition. And remember, we know that can be just certified conditions through medical providers. To support a military family member called to active duty. So it's already basically illegal if someone's in the military and they get called to active duty to fire them, or you basically have to let them have their job when they come back. This is now expanding it to, if it's the spouse of an active duty military person, they just get to stay home and get paid through this program and not have to work anymore.
So they get separation pay through the military, and then they just don't have to go to work because their spouse is overseas or on assignment or whatever.
Yeah. So, and then
because that makes sense.
All right.
That's what the separation pay is for.
Yeah. To respond to certain personal safety issues such as domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking for you or a family member. So the biggest spot that is going to be ripe for grift is this one. Care for a family member with a serious condition. Because we know, as we saw in point 1, this law allows for just physician certified problems. If you're a Somali grifter and you get a doctor to sign off on someone in your family,
that's where you say your kid is autistic,
having these problems, then your employer now, state of Minnesota will now pay you money to stay home, and your employer has to pay taxes on this to cover this to the state to cover what they're paying you. So look at this right now. Paid leave pays part of your normal pay. Most people receive 55 and 90% of their regular wages on leave, with a maximum set to $1,400 per week. So they can get up to $1,400 per week, and they only have to have worked at the place like 30 days.
That is fucking insane.
You can take up to 12 weeks for one at a time. So they're going to get a job. They're going to, and as soon as, like say
they work like the 60, 90 days to get the benefits kick in.
So look, family leave is 12 weeks, medical leave is 12 weeks. You can have consecutive, and it's just for per instance, right? So
So for the mother, you can say, I'm on medical leave because I had a baby and I'm healing from that. And then you immediately go into your family leave because my medical leave didn't allow me to actually bond with my baby because I was actually healing.
So again, if you're in
24 weeks.
If you're in one of these Somali cohorts of grift, you're going to have your family. So one family will be certified. Like you're going to have the autism diagnosis that's initially made. Then you'll have an asthma diagnosis. Then you'll have a this you're going to keep just plying it on for different people. And you could end up having unlimited family leave. Look at this.
Yeah.
Leave can be taken continuously in one block of time, intermittently in small blocks of time. Like, yes, your job is protected. I mean, this is designed to be a system for scams. And now what we know, with knowing what we, I was getting a lot of stuff on this before the like Somali stuff broke, and I was like looking at it, I was like, this entire policy is designed to just be ridiculously scammy. Like why it's almost like this is a policy that you basically built to be scammed.
Subject.
There's no precautions in it. It's self-certified. Like, and if you're in this whole group right now, we know that they have in with medical doctors who would just write diagnosis letters. That would have been the biggest hurdle, finding someone who would ethically.
Or you just bring over a whole bunch of Somalis that supposedly went to medical school back there, and then they import here and say that they were doctors and open a practice for Somalis. It's kind of like the Indians claiming that they've got, all kinds of tech degrees coming over here on H-1Bs when they never went to an actual college in India. They just green light everything to export some of their people and have money sent back.
It's ridiculous.
It is. So the FBI is now looking into Minnesota, and Speaker Johnson is calling for the Oversight Committee to immediately demand data from Waltz and Keith Ellison, the AG in Minnesota, and have interviews with the two Minnesota leaders.
Loeffler has cut off the SBA money.
Yep.
Okay, the question is, do you guys actually
They're
think
actually
anyone's
pulling
gonna
back
come
all
of
the
this?
SBA money.
Yep.
Do you think anyone's actually going to be prosecuted?
There's already.
I've had a clip just so that we can look at Anna Polina Luna.
Did you see? Did we miss this super chat?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you got it highlighted. The dead man for $4.99. Sorry about that, dead man. Remember when Obama said to Romney that the 1980s called in one of their foreign policy back? Yep, I've referenced that many times. It was during the debate, and everybody mocked Romney. When Obama, it's the Democrats that have gone insane about Russia for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, things were pretty neutral with Russia. We weren't heavily escalating. Americans turned back on Russia when the Democrats told them Russia's the bad guy because Ukraine is the good guy. But before that, everything was kind of just simmering pretty good. Clip. Let me remove that and add this. So this is really just a reason to have Anna Polina Luna eye candy on the screen.
Of course.
Because why not? She's a good-looking woman.
That's Tim Walz.
I know. We'll get to her
Oversight Committee
real quick.
gets out of this investigation.
You lied to me.
Look, I think I share the same frustrations with many Americans in that who wants to see another hearing without there actually being charges brought against people that are essentially defrauding the federal government and stealing from American citizens that deserve a lot of these resources that they're stealing. And so I'm hoping that we'll bring these people forward, that they can give us names and people that the DOJ can arrest. But I don't want there to just be another announcement, another angry, 15-second tweet on X, and then have it go away. I think that the DOJ needs to perp walk people if they've broken the law.
100%.
That's what I think too. And I would rather hear it from Anna Polina Luna than from me. Because it's much better looking coming from her. So I found a clip specifically addressing, hey, is anything going to come from this? I don't think anything's going to come from this. I think we need mass deportations. I think we need to denaturalize all these people and get them out of here. Ilhan Omar at the top of the list. Do I think anybody's going to actually get anything done? Not likely, because Congress never does anything.
Yeah. That's the thing that fucking sucks about it. That's the thing I find so frustrating about all that.
I find it frustrating on the Republican side because obviously the Democrats are willing to arrest people.
Right. That's true.
But nothing ever comes out of these oversight committee hearings. We get information. We don't then get any, we even get referrals half the time. Do we trust Pam Bondi to do anything about it? No. And Cash, I don't know what he's doing. But I don't expect him to hold the job much longer.
Why is that?
Because he's ineffective. Although he did come out and say yet again he's going to close down the FBI building.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, close building it. And then you say everybody who works there is the greatest of all time. So kiss my ass, Cash. I've said it. You've heard me since the beginning. Cash and Bongino and Bondi are the most disappointing of the roster.
Oh,
Bongino's
absolutely.
already piecing out because he doesn't want to get divorced and lose half his money again.
Yeah.
So, especially now that he's got all the investments he'd have to worry about. So Cash needs to go. I don't need his country music singing girlfriend. Like, this is where the stuff that normally I wouldn't care about when Democrats point it out is kind of annoying. Like, he's spending more time sending her security details than he is firing goddamn traitors in the FBI. So, yeah. So I'm not mad about it because the same way they are. Like, if he was actually doing his job and because of death threats, his honeypot of a girlfriend was causing money to be spent, yeah, I'd give it a pass. But in this case,
Well, that seems to be with everybody on the upper levels of the Trump administration, but I don't know about Cash's girlfriend specifically.
well, I don't care that Kristi Noem is flying Corey Lewandowski around. She's getting the job done. She's letting Tom Homan do his job.
I'm also thinking more of them having to be relocated to army bases because that's the only place they can actually be protected. But yeah,
just wait till Trump. Now, I mean, the Supreme Court basically said you're gonna need to use the Insurrection Act, and then all bets are off, because then he'll just be able to send the goddamn Marines out there, and let's see how Pritzker likes that.
Yeah, not just the National Guard, the military. I did want to kind of tie all these things together because I think there is a tie-in, and I think that tie-in has been blamed on Republicans for months now and used as a scapegoat for the Democrats. But I find it interesting that all of the Somali fraud in Minnesota is all tied to the healthcare funding. And who was assassinated in Minnesota? Melissa Hortman. And what did she do right before she was assassinated? She was the only Dem who voted against healthcare for illegals in the state. I think they need to be looking pretty deeply back into the Melissa Hortman assassination that they've blamed on the right this whole freaking time.
Interesting.
Into a Somali group of some kind. Don't know if it was a Somalian, but I'm pretty sure it's somebody who's part of this fraud. And this is just me giving opinion. I don't know anything extra, but we've got all this coming out about the grift and the fraud through the healthcare system in Minnesota, and she was the Democrat who voted against it. And then she was assassinated. And the guy did say he was claiming ties to Tim Walz. There were some ties to Tim Walz through the family. And he said that Tim Walz is who told him to do it. I don't think Tim Walz actually ordered that. But at the same time, things are getting mighty suspicious up there in Minnesota with all of this coming out, and that being the one person who voted against healthcare for illegals.
That's interesting.
As a Democrat.
That's for sure.
Just want to tie it back together because I don't see a lot of people mentioning that part yet. The year
No,
has moved so fast that I don't think people are really putting things together.
I didn't even think
And that
about
is the conspiracy theory in me, or theorist in me. But that was a weird assassination, and it's weird that this is all coming out now.
Right. Wow. That's crazy.
Take that for what you will. What, Chad?
No, I was just laughing about this crazy. Like, we get blamed for it just for the violence, and they're running.
We also
Probably
get
full
blamed
on,
for the grift and the
yeah,
fraud.
full on mafia hits are going on. I think you're right. I think maybe if only Candace Owens would look into this one. Maybe it was a French hit squad that was flying in that did it. Who knows?
People, the assassination at the beginning of the year, it was like probably April or May. It was the Minnesotan lawmaker. Her name is Melissa Hortman. Her and her husband, somebody knocked on the door, walked in, shot everybody, and then fled. The cops even got there and still didn't get the guy until a couple days later. Another one of these weird things. And then they tried to hook everything to the right and say that he was a righty when he had no King's protest flyers in his car, whole bunch of other stuff. His roommate was kind of a psychopath too. And that's what I'm looking at. But I don't want to become a Candace Owens and go down a whole bunch of crazy trains. I'm
just asking questions.
That's highly suspicious.
Well, that actually kind of makes sense.
I mean,
if you think about it.
We've got nothing about that assassination since then. So, I mean, you see this stuff coming out now and things starting to unravel in that state. And it's like, I remember what happened at the beginning of the year. So.
Yeah, it's kind of sus. That's for sure.
Yep. Chad, you had a couple things you wanted to go over.
Yeah, let me
this
get
week, right?
my bookmarks out here.
I've still got a couple things. I've got Scott Jennings destroying an angry lib on redistricting. And she literally just talks herself into circles, and he just kind of guides it the whole time until she gets back to the beginning, and she's like, wait, no. So,
Wait, what?
We'll watch that clip at some point. And then we've got the DC DEI police chief resigning.
Oh, God. That's funny.
So let's go through a couple of things that I want to. First, let's have a little bit of a fun share, which is, man, the DHS really knows how to do some memes.
Are you adding, or do you want me to do it?
I'm going to go ahead and add in. I just was making sure it's muted because I believe one thing I've also noticed is the DHS don't give a fuck about using copywritten music. So
true.
Which is fun. So this was one I posted on Christmas.
Make sure you transition it too.
Which we got Santa going out on patrol for ICE.
ICE.
Merry Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah.
They definitely don't care about what licensings they've got.
So this is what Santa, like in between Trump giving the tracker, this is what the good Santa, the non-infiltrated Santa, is doing for America. So,
amen.
It looks like what's the actor that was in Guardians of the Galaxy and Mallrats?
Rooker, Michael Rooker.
Yeah, it looks like Michael Rooker with white hair and a white beard. So
I'll tell you, talking about the actor that
wouldn't be
played
surprised
Dolores.
if he was just like, "I'm Santa Claus, bitch."
I'm Santa Claus, bitch. Yeah, Michael Rooker.
All right,
Yeah.
Now here's one. Speaking of crazy Candace, this was going around, and I'll transition it in, and then make it bigger. Transition
in big.
All right, I'll see if I can. This is X, so I'll see if I can make the text look bigger, but sometimes that doesn't work. There we go. This was a tweet from the day after Christmas about no matter how hard the GOP tries to make radical Islam happen, the base doesn't care about it. No, that's not true.
You know what? You're going to be hearing a lot about this year from us: radical Islam and assimilation and invasion. I'm not letting that one go. But yeah, go ahead, Chad.
Yeah, so I think this was after because Trump dropped some bombs over.
I was trying to let you clear your throat.
Yeah, I had sneezed, and sometimes it makes my voice go away for a moment. Yeah, so it's ridiculous, and I saw this also paired. I think Tucker was trying to say similar points. It looks like if I was trying to draw lines, people who may be having Qatari invested supporters seem to be transitioning now from just what I think might be rational policy based arguments regarding a certain country in the Middle East, going off the deep end now, trying to now we've transitioned to radical Islam isn't a problem.
that was Tucker's part of Tucker's speech at Turning Point. I mean, we talked about the part with Ben Shapiro and all that stuff, but the end of Tucker's speech was, now we've got Americans attacking Muslims? That's so not American. Ha ha ha.
Wait, what?
It's super American. It was like the first thing we did when we did that was at the Barbary Coast.
You can't attack people just on the basis of their religion. Ha ha ha. Candace is disgusting, but Tucker has been a disappointment lately. I like Tucker, but Tucker has made a switch in the past probably 6 to 7 months that has just been like, I don't know if I can follow you down any portion of that road, Tucker.
Yeah. Well,
In fact, I do know. I cannot follow him down any portion of that road.
Money talks, or money.
But Tucker already had more money than he could ever spend. I don't know that it's about money. I don't know what it's about. Because his family's rich. He's always been rich. I mean, he got paid how many millions at Fox?
It's either money or influence. I mean, it has to be something, because you don't fucking start selling out your own country for no fucking reason, unless you're a Democrat, but that's a different story. I don't know, dude.
I just don't know that they take it as serious as actual Americans do on the streets. I mean, Tucker's lived a privileged life, and he's always been in that rich, privileged class. I don't think he gets what we see as the threat from radical Islam.
Zavina makes the point.
You think he would?
They may have threatened him. I don't think that's the case. I don't know.
And I don't know what they threaten him on.
At the end of the day, he's just a sellout. I don't know. Maybe he has like a wide stance in the bathroom type pictures out there. Who knows?
I don't know. I went during the election. I did go to Tucker's event, and Tucker was somebody who was pulling very hard for Trump to be in office. And I do think, in the past, I believe that he has been very, very pro-America. But it doesn't seem like he's following into the America first at this point.
Well, maybe, okay, me going on a limb here. Maybe it was Fox News that kept them reined in. Maybe he's always just been this crazy, and we just never really realized it, because
he's always seemed very questioning.
Yeah.
Like, he just likes to talk to different people and question different things. But now he's making statements, not just questioning. And in the way he's questioning certain people versus other people also kind of clues you in on what he's thinking. Because like the Fuentes interview versus Ted Cruz interview, I have no problem with you hard questioning Ted Cruz. That probably needs to be done anyway. By the way, he thinks he's going to run for president. That is an absolute waste of time. But hard pressing Ted Cruz and giving Nick Fuentes a softball kind of tells you where he's sitting. At least in my mind. And then talking, chastising Americans about having a problem with Muslims coming into the country and not knowing who the hell they are and why are they taking over cities. Yeah, I think we have a right to question that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where there is a legitimate and rightful place within the policy debate of questioning, again, are the foreign policy choices of a foreign country the kind of foreign policy choices that would support our foreign policy? Yes or no? That's rational, right? Which is especially, I'm going to be honest, when he meets with Netanyahu tomorrow, allegedly the rumor is he's lost Trump, Rubio, Vance, Susie Wiles, all the rest of them are already done with Netanyahu dragging his feet on the peace deal that Trump brokered. And Trump is the last one that wants to give Bibi a chance to kind of get things done. And tomorrow is Trump's like, hey, I'm trying to help you, bro.
Because Netanyahu's been pushing back on that they haven't disarmed Gaza yet.
Yeah.
That's exactly the main contention point in that one, right?
Yeah, that according to him, they're not following the rules. But there's a lot of Rubio and other guys think that part of the way it's actually structured, they should be moving forward because those other steps will be much easier as they're transitioning again to the joint council that is going to rebuild Gaza among all the different member states.
That also involved Qatar, did it not?
Well, Qatar's one of them, but there's
the main
European
funding.
Yeah, but there's European parties. There's it's basically a bunch of countries that are in Egypt, Qatar, United States, I think France, some of the other Europeans. Regardless, the point being, Rubio, Vance, everyone else is basically, we made this deal, get on board, start actually this. In order for things to really improve, the real step to improvement comes from when this council takes over and starts rebuilding. Because when they start rebuilding, they can actually clear out tunnels. As they rebuild, they're not going to be, Hamas
bombing, wall building.
Yeah, exactly. Mm. And if they start screwing around when that's happening, then everybody would agree to taking action.
That they just have a death wish.
But so, in the opinion of some people in the administration, Netanyahu, for his own political reasons, because again, we've talked about Netanyahu is at his strongest politically in the country of Israel when he is, fighting a war. That's when the Israelis are most supportive.
Well, he was out, then he was back in as things started to escalate, and that was a bipartisan war council type presidency, and he had both sides putting him back in. Because the way they form their government is slightly different. So yes, he's probably going to be out of power again once they have ended the war, would be my guess. I don't know when they'll have their next elections, but that's kind of why he was in there. Jeffo makes a point. I think it's more innocuous. Part of Tucker's broad appeal is he's a very apologetic former neocon. I think that's why he went so hard at Cruz. I think his path is emotional. Yeah, he could just be slightly effeminate guy.
I mean, I'm going to be honest.
Also, be all the nicotine. I don't know.
Part of the reason Tucker. I am as fervently one of our biggest disagreements since the show started was when we took action against Iran and bombed them. Because I had a lot of grave concerns about escalating wars in the Middle East. And part of that was because in our youth, Brahma and I were around the same age, roughly exactly the same age. And at the time when 9/11 happened, and then we transitioned from Afghanistan to Iraq, the case was made that we were doing it because of potential threats, fight them over there so we don't have to fight them over here. It was post 9/11. And I, at the time, wasn't as questioning. I assumed, that when Colin Powell and all these other guys get up there and they show their presentations and they're giving all this evidence, well, these are legitimate government actors. They are presenting. They wouldn't present this stuff if it was just bullshit. Guess what? It was bullshit. Yeah. And I feel very strongly personally about it because I knew people in the military. I knew people who had to go over there who who had enlisted well before 9/11 because of our age bracket. You know, when you graduate high school is usually when people go in years before that incident, and people who joined up after. When the global war on terror started, we put the best and brightest of our youth who was in the military through a meat grinder for 12 years. I've said it before on this one. I actually knew General Kelly's son. I went to high school with him, the one that passed away in the global war on terror. This would be former Chief of Staff, former Department of Homeland Security, General Kelly.
Right. And if it had been anybody but Trump, I probably would have agreed with you.
Yeah.
But Trump so far has not disappointed me on his foreign policy war takes.
Yeah, but
he is for striking hard and getting back out.
To circle
that's
back
why I was arguing with you at the time.
Yeah, but to circle to what Jaffo is saying, one of the reasons it's hooked to me emotionally because I was clear, in my opinion, I was clearly wrong. I supported things that were wrong. People I knew died because not necessarily like I wasn't the decision maker voting in Congress, but I was voting for people who voted for it.
Right.
And when I was having discussions at the time with people who opposed taking those actions, I fervently defended going in and doing those things as being worth it. And I 100% at this day in 2025 can say, as much as I support the troops and love them to death, I think Iraq specifically, and then what Afghanistan turned into, were complete waste of time. Not that the troops, I hate the idea of like saying troops died needlessly, but it's like Vietnam, right? When you watch a movie like something like We Were Soldiers, we send soldiers out to fight for a hill that we took, right? We've successfully took this zone from the Viet Cong.
Then a few years later, we just say, all right.
Not even a few years. We immediately evac'd that zone as soon as the battle was done. And then they just go right back to holding that position.
Right.
What was when you see military action like that and you see that people died doing that, I think it is perfectly rational to look at your military leadership and say, what was the point of that? I
think so too. And I think everybody here on the panel, at least, also has that same take on the Iraq war and probably Afghanistan.
Yeah,
I can't necessarily speak for Comix, but we have talked about it before on his channel.
Yeah. So for me, for me, when I argue
about what being against the Iraq war,
so specifically to what Chad is saying, yes, I was for it at the time because we thought we had the information.
Yeah, I mean,
hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have supported it now.
I was kind of in the same boat. Especially
I think all of us
after
at a certain age were sitting there going,
there was a lot of pro-American sentiment that came out of 9/11, right? Because it in a weird sort of way it unified the country, and it's kind of hard not to be swept up in something like that when your country's been attacked. And it's like you want to retaliate against the people who did it, but at the same time, it's like, why the fuck are we going into Iraq? And
so yeah, in hindsight, the right answer was go in, demand Afghanistan turn over Bin Laden. Bin Laden is not turned over. We know that's not they wouldn't do it. You go in there, you kick the ever loving shit out of the Taliban, and you leave. And guess what? That the best position,
the shock and awe, but not to stay around afterwards.
But if you're not going to if you're going to nation build, the last time we genuinely nation built was post World War II. We went into Japan, and MacArthur was the GD military god of Japan. He took over as the emperor for
prop them back up,
and and no one likes to talk about it. But they if there was dissent within the Japanese population, it was removed, right? They were forced to Americanize. In Germany,
to get rid of the radicalism.
In Germany, people don't talk about, but the Nuremberg trials post World War II were not just a matter of punishing, the war crimes of the Nazi regime, it was an important step within within running Germany to make it known that if you were a former official and you were maybe questionable, if you didn't get on board with the
It
US
was
plan,
re-education.
yeah, you were gonna you had two routes. Like the very high end people were getting hung after Nuremberg trials, right? But there was a lot of people in between, right? From the upper echelon leadership down to the average foot soldier. And the point was very much made: become a Yahtzee in Germany was made illegal. If you didn't get on board
Right.
with the American and Western methods and systems, you were going to be like, hey, we remember what you were doing during World War II, and we can make sure that you get sent over there to be in jail. Or you can go into work for us at NASA and build rockets. There's a lot, you get on board with the way we want to do things, or you get gone. And that's how you
Right.
nation build. You have to eliminate the competing regime and force people to get on board with your way of thinking. And we were never going to do that in Afghanistan in 2003 and 2004. Like, there's no stomach in modern United States operations to nation build the way you actually need to nation build. Winning hearts and minds is bullshit. You take territory by sending enough troops to hold it securely, and then you forcibly get people on board with your way of doing things. And it takes about 10 to 20 years because you have to basically raise an entire generation in your system.
Yeah, because what we've done in the Middle East is raise them to hate us for the most part. And this is where I've had my take for the past couple weeks, as all of this Israel fallout has happened, where people on the right are going nuts about Jews all of a sudden. My take is, yeah, you don't. In all of history, in the 1300 years that Israel didn't exist, Islam pushed against Christendom. The second you've got Israel existing, Islam pushes against Israel. You don't have to have regime change or wars over in the Middle East. You just have to keep propping up Israel to a degree. As a country, you don't have to agree with their government. Mm-hmm. But as long as they are the smaller target in front of us, I mean, they're Iran, all of these places, the stated goal is take out the little Satan, then the great Satan.
Right.
So they are acting as a bulwark against that. So that is why I believe in having a fundamental friendship and allyship with Israel, the country. But I don't agree with going in and doing, any kind of change over there, because as we are saying over here, they fundamentally cannot exist with Western values. You're never going to change anything in any of those countries until something changes about the culture and the people. Mm-hmm. They can't exist here. We can't force democracy to exist there. So that's kind of been my take on the past few weeks and all the AmFest fallout, all that kind of stuff. I've kind of cemented what I feel about it, because yes, I have supported Israel. I do not have a problem with Jews. Do I have a problem with Israel's government at times? Absolutely. But do I think that this allied situation between us and them is important? I also do. Toxic Man Flu. We'll get back to that real quick. Let me grab these and then you guys can respond if you got something. Toxic Man Flu for $10. Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas. I've been sick the past few days, but I am still fighting for the sock shoe side of true tolerance. Also, whatever Chad said is wrong. Unless he agreed with me, then he is correct. I think at this point, you guys would just fundamentally disagree with each other either way. It's like Democrats and Trump.
I think the correct answer is Chad's wrong, even if he agrees with Tox.
I'm pretty sure Chad is a sock shoe person.
As it should be.
Yeah, I'm not a retard.
Eric K. As someone who lived closer and in the Middle East growing up, I did not understand either war. Kuwait was stealing Iraq oil. They asked us and the UN to do something about it. And looks like we got a multi-parter on his. We declined to get involved and said we did not care if they did anything. The second one was stupid. Saddam did not let terrorists in his country. As bad as he was, he wanted nothing out of his control. Yeah, I think the second one was son getting payback for daddy for not getting it all finished. Then for another $1, it was all done because of an undiscovered oil field that we thought we could control. Short-sighted people did not realize the shit show they would create. And it was most of my life shit show.
Yep. Sadly. That is the case.
So did you guys have a response to what I said? Because, Chad, you were about to say something.
Regarding the Israel of it all and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think, how do I put this? This is where, going back to the original point for, I think Jaffa was making, I was trying to say is, that's why I have the emotional hook in me from that personal experience going into why I argued so strongly against it. And I see what he's saying, because I probably was irrational in, I usually pride myself on being very logical, and the points you were making at
you
the
were
time,
being logical. I was just saying Trump is not that, or he hasn't proven to be that at any point in his life or his career. But the points you were making were rational. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's why for me it was a very terrible, that's where, so I get what he was saying about that point for Tucker. I could see where I think it's like Keri, right? Where she's deprogrammed. When you have actually separated yourself from the cognitive
So much
dissonance,
fear of falling back in.
It's like a scar, it's scar tissue on your mental processing, where you were like, I got absolutely effed taking, by supporting that position previously. I'm never going to do that again. It's just in human nature where, once when you make that, stove is hot. If I touch it when it's hot, it burns me. I'm not doing that again.
I really want to make the joke that that's why you're a sarcastic Mr. Know-It-All.
All right.
Because of the scar tissue that you wish I saw.
Yeah. So that's what I was getting at. I do want to add something just, I know before we go to another fun thing I saw in regards to the walls of it all. Here you go. Here's my fear. The feds move to arrest Walls for all this fraud stuff, but he gets tipped off and disappears into the woods, and they are unable to capture him due to his manly outdoor skills.
He runs a pick six play. Man, that guy's such a loser.
That just made me laugh, and I thought it'd be a good transition joke for us.
Yeah. So I think that's the majority of the crazy fraud stuff going on. How about we jump over to DC's DEI police chief, going on a ridiculous rant.
Former DEI police chief.
Yeah, this is the resignation speech. And she loses her freaking mind. She never should have been in charge of anything, because she's
okay.
crazy.
There's a new one coming into New York to run the fire department, so it's okay.
Oh yeah,
that's a woman.
That is a woman.
Are you sure? I mean,
what is a woman? Comix. What is a woman?
Listen to it scream, and you'll know.
Its name is Pat.
Slightly androgynous.
Can barely hear it.
It's so shrill when it's high.
Okay.
Do we think that the sign interpreter is one of those fake ones that just lied and got hired?
Did she get fired or is she resigning?
She's being forced to resign because she was fudging all of the crime statistic numbers under her reign.
Oh, holy shit. Okay. Why?
So she's upset because she she doesn't
lied and
think
got
she should
caught?
be being fired, or she doesn't think she should have to resign, and they didn't fire her, but they basically told her, you're out.
Fucking resign. She should be prosecuted. That should be a fucking crime, dude.
And that's where the problem is. But I love her next line, or, well, it may be a couple lines coming up, but
All over again. I do it again.
I do it again.
Of course.
So I'm going to the Bible when I say this to my hate.
Just to make sure you caught that. So I'm going to the Bible when I say this.
Bible when I say this to my haters. F you.
I'm not sure I know where that is in the Bible.
Sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's straight out of the Bible. Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, it's not like she went and made a whip and started smacking everybody. She's just saying F you.
Same folks who said in that report that they changed their numbers, and I did not. The report is very clear. I did not direct anyone. You should investigate those folks.
Okay, well, did you sign off on it? Were you the police chief? Does the buck stop with you? I don't care if people underneath her did it because they were ordered to or not. If the numbers were fudged, which we all know what they've been doing in the big DC or big blue cities.
Yep.
Not reporting, not arresting, not prosecuting, and showing lower crime figures. All of these people need to be removed.
It's fucking ridiculous, man.
At least one's going down. And the fact that the crime numbers are actually coming down now that Trump went into DC is even funnier, because the numbers that she was trying to fudge, if they had actually been enforcing the law, then maybe the numbers would have come down. But we had to have the National Guard go in to make that happen.
Yeah.
And Tox is just going to make me say it. Tox for $2. It's in 1 Thessalonians chapter 6, verse 9, bro. She did kind of remind me of Leslie Jones.
Nickelodeons. That's fucking funny, dude. Sorry.
These people. I did think this one was funny. This is the Scott Jennings just walking this girl in a circle. So let me get it added with sound and blow it up. Because if there's one thing I do love to see on CNN, it's clips of Scott Jennings. So she is upset about the redistricting.
Districting. They actually are. You know, they did change it. And one would argue that if Republicans can't win in Texas, they cheat. So would Congresswoman Jasmine... Yeah,
Fuck off. Really?
If Republicans can't win in elections, they cheat. And specifically in Texas.
Yeah, totally.
So
Democrats never cheated. Never
So
cheated.
her main point is redistricting in Texas is cheating.
Republicans can't win, they cheat. They cheat. They cheat by changing the maps.
So you're saying it was illegal what they did?
Well, one would argue that. That's why they put the whole lawsuit piece up.
Is it illegal in Illinois?
Could be too.
Is it illegal in Democrat states?
Could be, yeah.
So you're
could
saying you're saying the entire political system is just cheating?
No, that's not what I said. I said if Republicans can't win, they...
He's making the point that both sides do it.
Yep.
They cheat. Not the entire political system, just Republicans.
What is
but
cheating?
It's okay.
What is cheating?
Just Republicans, okay.
Not the entire political system, just Republicans.
You can break it all down. When you're changing the redistricting,
No,
when
you're
changing,
using the word
when
cheat.
You're, when
They
you're
went through a
literally,
legal process.
Well, when you're
They
literally
survived the
right,
court
and it
challenge.
also
What's
right.
cheating?
Well, survived the court challenge because it was Trump's folks in the court. He runs the court system as well. That's also called cheating. One would also argue that that's cheating, which is why.
God.
When a Republican runs the court system, that's called
It's
cheating as
cheating.
well.
Yep.
If a Republican's doing it, it's cheating.
It's cheating.
Also, it sounds like Scott Jennings sneezed like Chad because his voice is almost gone in this.
Put the lawsuit up and appealed and keep going and going. But it's fine. Democrats will just continue to do what they're doing.
Look at him just hanging his head. Like, you do realize you just said that everything that you guys do is cheating as well. If it's cheating on one side, it's cheating on the other side.
Yep.
And she does not understand.
by the way, I'm an independent, as you know. So
I know you
this
always
is not-
say that.
Clearly.
Yeah, I actually am. I actually am.
I mean,
but I'm
Democrats
actually
are also doing now the same thing Republicans
Yeah.
are doing with these.
Is it
with
cheating?
Newsom. Yes.
Was it cheating in
It's
California?
it's fire for fire. It's
No, was it cheating?
No, it's responding.
Was it
It's
cheating?
responding.
It's not
It's
cheating in
responding.
California. It's responding.
Responding to what? I mean, it is a fucking Democratic stronghold.
I mean, it could also be argued that what is going on in Texas with redistricting is in response to, say, Illinois
Yeah.
or any of the states where there is
Any
no
democratically
representation
held
of any
state.
real kind. Yes. And we have made the point the whole time. We have been very fair on this. Both sides do it. It's part of politics. You gain power, you play to control that power and keep that power. It's not cheating. It's gerrymandering, and gerrymandering has been pretty much allowed
It's
on
been
both
legal
sides.
forever.
You said it
You
was
could
cheating.
call it cheating
No,
if that's what
did.
you want to call it.
You called
No,
it
I
cheating.
said if Republicans can't win, they cheat. And so what Newsom did is he countered that.
He countered
it. Whatever you want to call it. He
No, it's
countered
what you
cheating.
called it.
No, I said if Republicans can't win, they cheat.
So it's
I know-
cheating. It's cheating for Republicans, and it's okay for
I
Democrats.
didn't say it's okay. I said
But
that
on
if
the-
Republicans can't
on
win,
the
they cheat.
issues
Talk in circles.
on
Yes.
the
Not in
Are you dizzy?
circles.
Are you dizzy?
No, actually, I'm not.
on the issues that are going to be on the table.
She so full on talked in circles. The whole thing was circular all the way through.
That's fucking funny.
I love
dude.
that he doesn't really even have to say anything other than, so is that cheating? So is that cheating? Are you saying that's cheating? And her whole argument falls apart, and she just keeps going nonstop, and all he has to do is say the same 3 words like 7 or 8 times. And she talks herself all the way back into the beginning of, yes, it's cheating. Okay, then both sides cheated. If that's the word you're going to use. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Well, we're coming up on the 2 hours. I don't know that I've got anything else marked because, quite honestly, the Somalian fraud was the majority of it. We did have one other thing. I don't really want to show the video because half of it's in Japanese, but Trump introduced the new PM of Japan, Sanae Takaichi, and she has announced they are doubling the amount of time you must live in Japan to obtain citizenship.
Good for her.
True nationalism. So good for her. I would love to see something more like that, but I'd more like to see just everybody get out of here. Here. In Japan, they've got slight control over it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been bad in the past few years, but they've got a little bit more control over it than we do because they didn't just have an open border. They're a freaking island. But you guys have anything else?
Not really, man.
I think we cover. Let me check what I got here. Make sure.
The only other thing that I can think of while you're looking up stuff, Chad, is everybody's worried about the midterms. From what I have looked at on what is available on the Senate map, I still think the Republicans, regardless of the economy, probably keep the Senate with 52 to 54 seats. So even if the House were to fall, which we have talked about many times, how the Supreme Court rulings and a few other things to redistricting could all have a big difference on that, regardless of what everybody's thinking going into the midterms. I do not think everybody should be as black-pilled on the midterms as a lot of people online seem to be, because the Senate should stay within our hands fairly easily, just based on what states are available. The House, we'll see what happens there. They can throw all the impeachments they want, but as we had proven in the last term, if they throw an impeachment over, it doesn't mean the Senate has to take it up. We could play by their rules and just never have the prosecution.
You just table
So,
it. Yeah.
you table it and nothing happens. So the midterms are not the whole thing is lost. Yes, if there is a problem with the House, it's going to make it almost impossible to actually solidify anything, which is ultimately what we want to do. But we're not at that point yet until we get these Supreme Court rulings and a few other things happening. Also, Chad, you had some breaking news in your area tonight. The guy who was running, Bryce Reeves, running for U.S. Senate in Virginia, the only Republican that was running, decided to drop out of the race earlier today.
Yeah, I mean,
So there is no leading candidate right now.
Logistically, anybody running for Senate in Virginia is going to get...
It's against Mark Warner.
They're going to get railed. They're not going to...
Yeah, I just wanted to give you some local news.
What? We got a super check coming in.
I got it. The Dead Man for $4.99. Girth in this last quarter, and I think 2026 will be better. Growth, I think is what he was going for. Yeah, we did have economic growth in the last quarter. GDP went up. We should start seeing some of the things that have been implemented starting to affect people in 2026.
That would be great.
Once again, SCOTUS doesn't screw everything up with the tariffs. Because we've talked about the three-legged stool of our economy and what Trump's plan is, and you kick out one of those legs, this could all get ugly pretty quick.
That's basically what they want to do.
I don't know that the Supreme Court wants to. We'll see what.
Well,
they
I'm
decide to do.
talking about the opposition. That's
what the opposition, and the never Trumpers. But the economy is kind of wound up and poised to start going. We've got the energy costs down. We've all seen that. I mean, it doesn't matter what part of the country you're in, except for maybe California, because of their state taxes. We've seen energy come down. It's under $2 here. So we've got the energy portion happening. The drilling has been going on. We had 44% more licenses for drilling going out this year over last year.
Mm.
Actually, over the whole Biden term, I think is what it was. There's a lot of good things that happened this year. The border is not porous in any way. People will continue to self-deport as we continue to have people getting arrested and deported. There's things happening. Is it happening at the speed we would like? No. But was the speed we would like ever realistic? No. The economy wasn't going to turn around after 4 years of being shot in the foot.
Well, the economy, economy takes time to turn around. That's kind of the thing, right?
Yeah. So I think we're poised for a good year. It needs to be a good year because we need to keep the house. And I think we've got a whole lot of SCOTUS action that's going to be helping us decide how this is going to look here in the next 11 months. So there's your kind of red pill moment for the new year as we go into it, because this is the last show for this year, 2025.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that, yes, we do kick it into high gear. And I think when people see their taxes and stuff, there will be some noticeable difference. Talks for $5. If Trump can increase girth, he'll score with white middle-class women for sure. I have to ask you about the penis mighty. Will it really mighty my penis, man? Because you're sitting on a gold mine, Trebek. And show sponsor, Copy Kitty, for $10. Thank you very much. Here's to a better upcoming year. Yeah. Cheers. Hopefully. You still got to drink Comix? That looked fake.
I drank my non-alcoholic.
It had like not much.
It had the drippings still left in it.
Yeah.
Well, Tree Rock says, I hope you're right and I'm wrong. I mean, we're just looking at the indicators and, hoping that things are turning the way we think they're turning and that it doesn't get kneecapped. But there was a plan. The plan's being followed. I mean, we are going to see things like the housing market very well could shift if we get more people out of this country. You could see costs start coming down. You will probably see the interest rates start coming down, but we're walking a tightrope between recession that we don't necessarily want and deflation and rising wages. All of those three things are kind of converging in one spot, and if you shift one way too far to one direction, the thing starts to fall apart. So they've got a lot of work on their plate. They were left a lot of work by a very, very horrible economic policy for the last 4 years. And going back to some of the stuff that was happening in COVID under Trump 1. We printed a lot of money then too.
Yes.
But the tariffs are bringing back in money. If the tariffs stay, these monthly surpluses can go to paying back down the national debt. I don't really care if I get a check for $2,000 or whatever it is. I would rather the debt go down, because what we have done to future generations over the last 30 years is disgusting. Everything about the way we printed money and not giving a shit about our grandkids is disgusting.
Yeah, it's a problem. It is a fucking problem.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of people that won't exist when the people who have to pay it off come around, and you're just leaving debt to your ancestors.
Yep.
And it's gross. We need to get this under control. And if tariffs can start paying down that national debt, that's at least a step towards it. You need to control spending too, though. Anybody got anything else?
Nope. Nothing here, man.
I think we're pretty good.
Okay. Then Comix. What do you got coming up for the new year and this week?
God, what do I have coming up for the new year? That's a good question, man. Hopefully some videos.
I know. I feel the same way.
I need to get my shit together and start making videos, man. That's the big thing. But obviously we'll be streaming tomorrow night on my channel, and we'll be streaming New Year's Day as well at the regular time rather than later. So yeah. So
I don't know if you got to watch Landman yet.
No, I have not.
I did not like it.
Really?
Yeah. Me, one of the most outspoken people for it. This episode was not a good episode, in my opinion.
I think I'll check it out. But yeah,
I've got to do my rewatch of it to take notes for the show. But I just did not care for this one at all. It's a lot of Ariana.
Oh, that explains everything.
There's a lot of other stuff, but didn't feel like it furthered anything. Much more to the degree that it rarely furthers anything, but there was not a lot of anything of substance in this one. So
that blows.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Indeed we will.
Yes, people, Landman is 1,000% better than Stranger Things.
Oh, hands down.
There's nothing about Stranger Things that has been good.
No fucking comparison. No,
Chad, I've seen on the scroll all night that you guys lost the lottery pick, the number one overall pick,
beating the Raiders
by winning.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this, Chad?
I am fucking pissed. The Raiders went all in, right? Max Crosby
just tanked.
Max Crosby, who's their number one defensive end, like all-world defensive end. He said earlier in the week that he was not about tanking, didn't give a shit about the number one pick. He was there to play. So you know what they did on Thursday?
Benched him.
Put him on injured reserve. He's not playing the rest of the season. There was no pressure against the Giants. I swear to God, on how every now and then in football, like when it's a fourth and like just a few yards, you'll have the team go out there to try to get them to false starts so they can get the penalty and get the first down.
Yeah. Try to get them go offside.
The entire defensive line of the Raiders jumped. I was like, that never happens. It was like they wanted to make sure they kept like the Giants going. We ended up winning. Yeah, this is the second year in a row that in week 17 the Giants had the number one pick, won the game that mattered for naught, and lost the number one pick.
Right.
So they will like this. There was only really one good quarterback in this class coming out. They could have turned that number one pick into like 3 or 4 first round picks. It would have been one of those like Herschel Walker like deals where you can build
The
your
trade
team.
tree is ridiculous.
Yeah. And no, now we're going to end up with either the second or third pick in a one quarterback draft class. So, which means you have nothing to sell anybody.
Right.
So I'm sure we'll get a really competent left tackle, which will be great. That'll be fun.
Not that I truly pay attention, but the Broncos seem to have the dream scenario going into next week, where it's San Diego is locked into the wild card. They have nothing to play for. The Broncos have to win against San Diego to take the AFC. I don't think San Diego is going to play anybody that is a starter, really. So I think the Broncos just have to beat the backups to win the AFC.
This is Harbaugh with San Diego. He's going to play them.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
I think he'll give them the bye week that you don't necessarily get as a wild card team and try to win in the wild card game.
I don't think Harbaugh benches Herbert or Hampton or any of those other guys. He wants them to be tuned up going into the playoffs.
I think he'd rather him be rested. We'll see. I don't pay attention to the NFL all that much anymore, but since the Broncos are the local team, can't avoid it. But what do you got coming up this week?
We got MadEPAP, I believe, on Tuesday, as long as nothing changes there. And we'll have whatever the new undiscovered historical story that Mad finds and that we look into, which will be fun. And then on Friday, we have the Ascendant Art podcast, which will be, I guess, on New Year's. Is that the day after? So that's the second. So the second day of the new year.
The new year day.
The new year.
The new year.
So we'll be able to do that. We'll maybe do a Chad is not Herbert. No, I'm not Herbert, but Harbaugh is going to start him. Anyway. I guess Colorado had a nice comeback against Vegas. The Giants.
Yep, the Avs still only have 2 regulation losses after being down 2 goals last night, coming back to tie it, then being down 2 goals again, coming back to tie it in the third, and then being down a goal with 4 minutes left. Then we scored with our goalie pulled to send it to overtime. And then we won in a shootout, which is our first shootout win. So through 37 games, almost half a season, we're 4 games off of half a season in hockey. We've only lost twice in regular time. It's historic run. So, yeah, it's been good.
Yeah,
and Belle says she already saw Landman and she knew what my reaction would be. Belle, you're welcome to lead the talk tomorrow on Landman because I don't want to talk about it at all. I thought it was horrible.
Brahma's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, I'm the one who usually leads it on Comic Show, the scene by scene type stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I can't point out any scene that I liked in this show this week.
Wow, that's
from the very beginning. The opening was just stupid, ridiculous, stupid. But yeah, you'll see.
I'm impressed.
As for me, I will be on Comic Show tomorrow, then Mad's channel on Tuesday. Then it's a scheduled week for the Christian panel, though we haven't spoken about it yet, so I don't know what's going on there. Over on Keri Smith's channel. Back on Comics on Thursday, then Friday Ascendant Art with Lil Chad and Slenderdad. Saturday is a bourbon and boarding night, and then Sunday we are back here. So another one of the busy weeks for me, but that's fine. We have fun with it. I don't know if there will be any cooking stream after the credits copied. It is the last stream of the year. We could talk about how Christmas dinner came out, I guess, for a couple minutes, but for now, this is the credits, which I did update with all 43, I think, members now. So thank you very much. Since it is the last show of the year, and we've been doing this for just a little over, a year and a half now, I do want to thank you guys all for constantly coming out and supporting the show. Do hit the like, the subscribe, the share whenever you guys think about it, because it does help. We've been stalled at like 683 subs for almost 2 months, I think. So, yeah, if you guys can spread the word about a political show that you guys like, that would be great, because a lot of people are turning off of political shows right now because a whole bunch of right-wing hosts are kind of losing their freaking minds. And we're trying to just give it to you as we see it.
Yep.
So, thank you, everybody. Have a happy new year. And here's some credits we'll talk over.
We do like to talk over the credits.
Indeed.
It's what we do.
We will talk about the credits.
Yeah, Comix
We will
was
talk
long,
over the song.
Comix was long gone last week by the time we got around to an hour of just,
Oh, yeah.
talk.
Comix missed all the fun stuff.
Did I really miss it?
Well, since
that
every
sarcasm?
comment on the stream was about us talking about cooking. Oh, crap. We forgot to do memes.
Did you?
Well, everybody stick around after the credits and we'll do the memes.
No, I'm going to bust that off the credits. So
Yeah, you're good.
I got to go to work tomorrow.
Can you pull up the memes, Chad?
Yeah, I got you.
Hi, Jappo.
Night, Jaffo.
Night, Darren.
And to you, Derek.
Release the McCracken. How it came out. So you'll be streaming from the toilet? LOL. No? That's not how dinner came out. Because I didn't make any corn this year.
Oh, wow. On that note, good night, folks. I'll catch you next time.
Night, Comics.
Night,
Have a good
Comix.
Night.
All right. Ooh. Are the credits going to go as long as the song this time?
Could it be? Did you work on doing that too?
No, I did not time it up. We've just got that many more members from the past few weeks from people gifting some memberships and stuff, so maybe it'll just magically come out close.
Have you watched any of the new Spartacus show?
Yeah,
Is it worth watching?
it's much like the old Spartacus, except that there's a chick leading it, except they also, in the first at least 3 episodes, which is all I've seen, the opposing houses gladiators that they have put up against the House of Asher now, whatever it's called. I keep wanting to say Badiatus, but it's not. It's the House of Asher. They send in a trio of midget brothers.
Is Mad aware that this?
Mad refuses to watch it. I've told him about it multiple times. I'm like, they just keep reappearing, Mad, and he's like, I don't care. I'm not going to watch it. It's
He's not watching a show with little people gladiators.
Yeah,
This is everything he should want in a show.
you would think so.
Yep. Here's another question. I see Claudia Black is in it.
Yes, she's playing the one of the, I think it's the governor of the city's wife.
Is she pulling like a Lucy Lawless from the original one?
Not where she's disrobing constantly, no.
Well, that's disappointing.
But she's part of the injury. I don't know that you want to see Claudia Black at this point.
Yeah,
It doesn't look like anything you would want to see from.
I guess I'm still remembering Claudia Black from Farscape 25 years ago.
Yeah, that was 25 years ago. Now you're talking about, what, 60-year-old Claudia Black? Not the same thing.
I don't know how old she is. How old is she?
I don't know how old she is, but if it was 25 years ago that Farscape was, then she was probably in her 20s then. Night talks. If she was in her 20s then she's at least close to 50.
Wow,
How
we
old
got
is
a lot
she?
of looking it up. We got a lot of memberships this time going through. That's nice.
That's what I'm saying. We went from
Born-
like 20 to 45 or so.
She's 53.
Yeah.
That's not 60.
I said at least 50.
I thought you said like 60.
I said at least 50. I said if she was in her 20s when she was doing Farscape, and that was 25 years ago, she's at least 50.
I mean, there's
She's not in the prime of where you would probably like to see her. She's got some aging lines and whatnot.
I mean, it is possible, but I do want to be clear. In the modern era, it is definitely possible for women in their early 50s to still, look in the wood category, as Dead Man is saying.
Yes, but it depends on how much you decided to keep yourself natural to a degree as well, or not.
Like Cindy Crawford, still highly acceptable, and she's probably in her 60s now.
I'm pretty sure she's a otter. If she let the hair grow out of that mole, she really is just an otter. If she lets that hair grow out of control there.
What in the hell does that even mean?
It means if she was in her natural state, she would be an otter. Don't try to make sense of it. Hey, there's your name, and it's normal. I really need to speed up the credits.
Yeah, I mean we've had an entire discussion. Like, seriously though, like, not still acceptable to you, Cindy Crawford? Did you ever?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen her since the Pepsi ad 40 years ago.
She's 59 now. So I guess that would be on the outside of your general accepted range.
Well, yeah, that's like a 20-year difference. 15-year difference. Hey, there's Copy Kitty. We're coming to the end because Copy Kitty and Eric Myers have been here since the beginning. All right. Now we will bring up Das Memes.
Das Memes. Yeah, we've got, I think, 4 batches of memes. Do sort by date.
Add to scene. Transition. Are you on a safe page?
I'm on. Yeah, that's the memes on X. Yeah.
Okay. Let me embiggen.
So this is the very first meme of the night. It's a text message exchange. Babe, come over. Response: sorry, I'm busy. Next, but my father is at my uncle's house planning the retaking of Constantinople, so I'm home alone. And then the response: yeah, I'm also at your uncle's house. Oh, nothing like another crusade. All right. Then we have the wicked become even worse when they are tolerated. A quote from Tolstoy. He's trustworthy. Always good. We've got a cat looking at a newspaper with the line that says, I should start a daycare, not with Haitians.
I mean, seriously, how do you go from a shithole country to we're just all millionaires?
Look at me, Brahma.
Yeah, you're the captain now.
No, yeah, yeah. I like Deeple. Those texts were exchanges within my group of people.
This is just
Constantinople.
They've just gone from sea piracy to land piracy. Now they're just stealing all of our money on our own land.
All right, here you go. Franklin has dirt on the Clintons.
Yeah. Did you see the one that said it was a fake Hillary Clinton text that or tweet that was, "I am not taking responsibility for the eventual suicide of Bill next month."
Yeah, that's a good one. Luckily, Huma will console her. All right, so memes number 2. America is 35 trillion in debt because our politicians were stealing money. Maybe we should confiscate everything they own to pay off what they stole. Not a bad plan.
I think Bill's really upset about the 50 comment.
I'm
50-year-olds
just-
can look just fine. I'm just saying I don't know that in a show you're going to want to see her walking around naked as much as we did Lucy Lawless in the first series.
I mean, that was worth it. Anyway, how old she was? I guess she wasn't that old when that happened. She was what, in her 30s?
I mean, that's
Upper
been
30s,
15
maybe early
years.
40s. It was probably early 40s.
It was about 6 or 7 years after Xena.
Wasn't it?
I don't know how.
Was it before or after Battlestar Galactica?
After? Question mark?
I think it was after, because I saw Lucy Lawless in person at Comic-Con in 2008. And man, do her and Kevin Smith not get along at all. It was hilarious to watch. It was a women like sci-fi panel, and for some reason they had Kevin Smith like
he was moderating?
He was moderating. And it was, so they had Lucy Lawless there, they had Jamie Presley, not Jamie Presley. Anyway, like there was 4 other like favorite actresses from the sci-fi stuff. And for some reason, like Kevin Smith tried to make a joke about Xena, and Lucy Lawless gave him the fucking death glare eyes immediately. And the rest of the time she was basically just mocking him and wanting him to die on stage. It was like,
this while he was still fat?
Yes.
Or after he had the heart attack and
no, still fat,
vegan?
pre-heart attack. So this was when Kevin Smith was still one of us.
Still one of us, and still
one of us.
Very easily mocked by by somebody like her. Yeah.
And well, he was like made joke. It was like, Jesus, Xena's gonna kill me.
Hope she doesn't go into that weird scream thing she does.
Yeah, he was like, la 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 la. This next thing you know, he was like, next thing you know, the little circle thing's gonna be cutting my head off. So you go, all right. So we've got a meme of Bart. This is the most fraud I've seen, and Homer saying, "This is the most fraud you've
it's
seen
the most
so
fraud
far."
You've seen so far. Yep.
Right.
I think we're at the tip of the iceberg. I think we're going to see billions more. And I think nobody's going to pay for it. And we already we did the story, 2 weeks ago on the judges where they had actually convicted people in jury trials. And the judges were like, nope, we're throwing that out. We don't care what the jury said. So it's not just them. It's not just that there will be very few prosecutions. It's that unless you get the federal prosecutions and get it into the right courts, it's not going to happen because the Minnesotan judges don't seem to give a shit.
Yep. I got so the next meme is from American Psycho with Christian Bale. Impressive, very nice. Now do California. All right. This is a quote. I got laid off and lost my insurance. Oh, well, good news. You're eligible for Cobra. What's that? An international terrorist organization dedicated to overthrowing an American paramilitary group that operates with impunity.
With impunity.
But do you? Yeah, we have health care.
That one's pretty good.
Oh. All right. From A Bug's Life with Hopper as voiced by Kevin Spacey. You let one ant stand up to us and they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if we ever let them figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping the ants in line. Apply that to other scenarios as you see fit. So,
yep.
Although, I'm going to be honest, I'm starting to wonder if we really do outnumber them at this point. It seems like there's a smaller percentage of us highly productive people that are funding a lot of unproductive people.
Yeah, I think it's just the the silent majority still exists that are still sane people that is a different situation than those who are funding and not funding.
So we've got
There are some of us that are still sane.
Yep. We've got an image of a American $20 bill, and then we've got an image of a Little Tikes $20 play money, with the line being the only difference between these two pieces of paper is we collectively believe one has more value, otherwise known as the definition of fiat currency. As soon as you have a fiat currency that is not backed by any hard assets such as gold or
Like
silver,
gold.
you are essentially just like, this is why I always thought it was funny when people would make fun of like Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency. They're like, it's not real. And I was like, is American money real? And they're like, yeah, it's worth money. And I was like, why? And they're like, well, it is. It's money.
Because we say it is.
It's like, because we all agree it is. Is like, it hasn't been. They're like, then some people who don't know were like, well, no, it's worth a certain amount of gold. And I was like, it hasn't been since the 70s.
We didn't talk about that at all on any of the shows. They stopped making pennies, people.
Oh, I've seen the videos of people getting pissed because the stores will round your change down and not give you your penny.
Yeah, they've stopped making pennies.
And it's a dick move, by the way. Which is funny.
Yes, the change should always be rounded up to the consumer.
Yep. All right, survival tip. If you get lost in the woods, just build a shelter. The tax collector will be there shortly. All right, give me all your money, but I'm a politician. Okay, give me all my money.
Yep.
And I think we have yet one more. Happy 34th USSR collapse day, and nothing of value was lost.
True.
If we don't let athletes bet on games they can influence, why in the hell do we let Congress invest in the companies they regulate?
Maybe that's why they allow us to bet on games now.
Yep. No, I'm A-okay with a ban on congressional stock trading. I think that's well overdue at this point. Shut the fuck up, celebrities. A guide to knowing your place as the dumb dancing monkeys you are.
I'd say so, except for the educated ones. I mean, the sad thing is we make fun of celebrities all the time for, on the left. But the thing is, I think James Woods and a few others actually do take time to get actually educated on our side. It's not just a sideism thing, but it kind of looks like it from the outside, because James Woods could probably talk everything that we could talk and still be an actor. Not many of them, but him and probably Angelina Jolie's dad, whatever his Voight, John Voight.
Mm-hmm.
Because to be on this side, you actually have to have deprogrammed yourself a little bit, which means you actually have to have read something that is not just mainstream.
That's I mean, it's a fair point, but
Except for Nicki Minaj, at that point, I'm like, I don't know why she was on stage.
I don't mind Nicki Minaj. She's fine.
I think she's just trying to get her citizenship.
Whatever. I'm not. She's not really.
Because she's a citizen of Trinidad and
Tobago.
So I think she's making an appeal to not be kicked out of the country. Is what she's doing.
Yep.
I don't know that I trust it yet. We'll see.
All right, our next one, Republican. I have found fraud. Libertarian. You can't just say there's fraud and expect anything to happen if you don't make arrests. And then I didn't say I'm doing anything about the fraud. I said I found it. Here's the thing: libertarians, they wouldn't do. They have no place of moral superiority. I'll just say that.
Also, we did find some fraud in USAID, and we did shut it down. So, I mean, there have been things that have happened.
Right,
not as much as we would like, as we've said, but there have been things that have happened.
So how do we... My screen to transition was still the credits. There we go.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
I haven't removed your... So how did your Christmas dinner come out? Because people really want some cooking talk.
Well, Christmas dinner, we did a turkey, and it was delicious. Came out well. It was seasoned, I think my brother cooked that one, so he smoked it. It was really good.
Yeah, but did he brine it first? Give us all the details, Chad.
No, he didn't brine it.
What do you mean he didn't brine it?
I don't know. I wasn't there for it. I just showed up and ate. I didn't have to cook it this time. Now, on the other hand,
Night Devil.
on the day after Christmas, we made an excellent beef stew, which was delicious. So I can talk in detail about that if you'd like.
If you would like to, you may.
Yeah,
because
so
we're in
step
after
one,
hours.
Yeah, step one is I told my wife I'd like beef stew, and then step two is I showed up at dinner time and ate it.
Chuck roast?
No stew beef, just already ready to go.
Oh, you went the easy way, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the other stuff that matters more, getting the broth and then the right vegetable combination. For beef stew, I'm a big fan of doing potatoes, onions, celery, carrots, but then also mixing in mushrooms because mushroom and beef tends to have a good combination. Why is that?
I'm fine with everything but the mushrooms.
Yeah,
Plus,
I mean,
I would start by
them.
making a roux out of those things. And then, well, before that, I would have taken a chuck roast, cubed it, seared all of it, slow cooked all of it, and then you make the roux out of the vegetables. You soften them all on the saute in some of the grease from the beef that you had seared, and then you start building it. The stew meat crap. I don't know what you're thinking.
I use the slow cooker. I don't need to. That's like a nice cheat code, by the way, too. It always comes out pretty tasty.
No, the cheat code is the pressure cooker because it's 6 hours quicker.
I don't need it to be done quicker. I've got plenty of time to just.
So is your stew more like a gravy base or is it more like a soup base?
It's a soup. For beef stew, I want it to be soup. I don't want it to be overly thick. That's personal preference.
See, I think of a stew more as a gravy-ish texture than a soup texture.
Again.
So you're having vegetable beef soup.
I personally like it more soup-like because then I get a really nice loaf of bread, and you're able to, dip it better.
Right, but I'm saying you're eating vegetable beef soup, not a beef stew.
I guess. I mean, but
it's a broth versus a gravy.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why I would start with a roux and then thicken it up to make it into a gravy-ish thing.
Yeah, I know. My wife discussed doing that. And I was like, no, I like it more soup consistency so that it plays better with the bread.
Well, then, damn it, man, be intentional with your words. You're having a soup, not a stew.
It's still a stew.
No, a stew is gravy-based. A soup is soup-based. I don't like that you're never on screen.
Why is that?
Because you can see my facial reactions. I can't see yours ever. Plus, nobody knows when you're making a joke or not. Although I don't think you've made a joke tonight. But
I've tried occasionally.
I imagine there is a slight curl of the mouth when you think you're making a joke. But your voice doesn't say it.
I'm trying to. I don't ever look at my face when I'm joking. So I'm not quite sure. what the right response would be.
So we did ham on Christmas Day. So tonight we made potato soup so that we could throw the chunks of leftover ham into it so that it's not a soup, because anytime you get into making a potato soup, it's closer to a chowder almost in consistency. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you just mash potatoes in it until it gets to the consistency that you want. But yeah, we threw in a whole bunch of ham, some bacon. Wouldn't fly in your house because of the no pig rule, which still just doesn't feel right to me.
I don't understand why you can't accept that some people just don't like the taste of pork. Are you
Is
pulling
it
the
some
Homer
people or is
Simpson?
it one person in your house?
It's one person, and it's a very important person in the house, so I should abide by it.
Do you ever get bacon for yourself?
Traditional bacon, not really, because it's just not worth, because she likes turkey bacon, so I just buy turkey bacon. I do get traditional like breakfast sausage, link sausage, or the
So you at
circle.
least eat actual breakfast at some point, even though she won't.
Yeah, I'll make that for my son. I like specifically I like the Vermont like maple family of link sausage for breakfast.
Oh, I hate maple.
Well, you can go fuck right off.
That's fine. See,
Yeah, really
here's my
cynical.
thing. I'm just worried that your son is being brought up completely wrong if he never eats pork. So
No, pork is his favorite thing. He gets grilled pork sandwiches from Buc-ee's. He knows what
okay,
pork is.
that's why I'm concerned, because if the one very important person is not eating any pork, then your son can't be robbed of pork because of that.
Did I ever? I think I may have told this, but I'll say it because it's pretty funny in the context. The my mom, when she was around, when I first started dating my wife, she's coming over to have dinner with my family, and my mom was like, "Well, what does she eat? What does she like?" And I was like, "Well, the only thing she doesn't eat is pork." And she's like, okay, that'll be fine. I'll make ham." I was like, "You're joking."
You
right?"
realize that is a fat ass cheek of a pig.
And she's like, "Well, when you say pork, I think you mean just pork chops, right?" I was like, "No, she just doesn't eat pork." And she's like, "Well, fine, I'll do something different." I was just like, "Fine, I'll make a ham."
She would not like weekend gatherings at my house, like when pre-COVID, when we used to have a whole bunch of friends that would come over like every Friday or Saturday and hang out, and we would barbecue in the backyard. Well, not barbecue, but hang out in the backyard, have a few drinks, play some volleyball, hop in the pool. Every single weekend, I was making a pork loin, because pork loin, you do a bacon wrapped pork loin, you're spending $17 on a piece of meat that is this big. It's basically pork chops.
Hold on a
not
second.
cut up.
Did you made a bacon wrapped pork loin? That's two of the same meats.
Uh-huh.
Why wouldn't you get like a turkey loin or something and bacon wrap it? Or
Why would I do that?
you
Pork
want
loin
the-
costs $17, and you wrap it in bacon, and the bacon drips into the pork loin. It's like having a pork chop that has bacon grease in it. It's fantastic. And it costs nothing. Then you make a whole bunch of macaroni and cheese and a whole bunch of mashed potatoes. Everybody's happy. There's no freaking vegetables on that plate. And it costs maybe $25 to feed 30 people. Fantastic meal.
I just don't under. I if I'm bacon wrapping something, it's a non-pork meat, so that I can have two meats instead of one family.
But bacon has a different flavor than white meat. Like, not white meat, but like the pork loin, lighter meat side of it. So
You're
it
going-
doesn't.
I mean, you can.
Well, even in a pork loin, there's darker meat and then there's lighter meat.
Well, I'm aware that you can do it. I'm just saying, like, before you were so interested to see if you could, you never stopped to think if you should, Brahma.
I want those drippings in that pork. I want the pork belly to then rise into the loin and grace it with that grease. Yes, it's great.
Was like, I took a pork loin and then wrapped it in bacon, and then I stuffed it in a pig that we buried and roasted.
I can think of nothing better.
It is my older brother's dream is to have an actual, like, dig the hole in the ground pig roast.
A luau pig?
Yeah. Where you actually, like, roast it all day in the ground and then, like, bring it up and eat it. And I was like, he's just like, I can't find a place that would allow me to do it without getting permits. I don't want to have to get permits to do it.
Does he not have a backyard?
No, not where he lived.
Oh.
And most of the places around here you couldn't, because even in your backyard you've got pipes and things underneath that you couldn't dig that kind of hole.
So I used to have a buddy whose dad, every year on one specific day of the year, we did Man Day, where everybody brought over, some food, brought over a couple bottles of liquor. He had, like, I think 2 or 3 acres. So he had like a 3-hole golf course that he had done, not like cut the grass and everything, but you could golf, you could play darts. We had a couple billiards tables set up, and it was just like 12 of us guys hanging out for the day. And one year, this guy brings over not the whole pig. He ate that at his house. He brought over just the head for the head cheese. And it was like, why would you do that to us? You cooked a whole pig and all you brought over was the head cheese? Nobody wants that. I mean, he was not invited back. I also was not, because I may have gotten very loud and started talking about Trump, and there may have been 5 or 6 Democrats, including the host. So my buddy was like, I was like, when's Man Day next year? He was like, yeah, I don't know how much you remember, but you're not invited back. It was fun though. Had a good 2 years.
Yeah, you got the you would be the memes where everyone's like walking into Thanksgiving knowing I'm the conspiracy theorist, like, conservative uncle.
Oh, that's how Christmas went this year. There were some conversations going that I could not insert myself in, or I could not help but insert myself into. So, but that's all her side of the family. I don't care. They know where I stand. I wear a Trump hat to Thanksgiving and Christmas, so just to piss some people off. And it's my house, so I can do whatever I want.
So are
well,
you? I was gonna
am
say,
I what?
I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Are you done trying to mock me for just abiding by my wife's tastes for not doing it?
No, I'll probably always mock you for that. But I'm glad you're at least exposing the boy to pork.
All right, so we've got Dead Man saying, Chad, I'm a person who lives in VA. The only Buc-ee's, I think you autocorrected to Buckeyes, which is Ohio, but Buc-ee's that I know of is near JMU. Are you close to meet up? I'm in Northern Virginia. Yes, I am near there. JMU is very near where I'm at. And I'll keep it vague like that on the stream right now. But yeah, that's the Buc-ee's, Rockingham County. They are supposedly opening 2 other locations in Virginia in the next couple years, but that's the one that's open right now. And yeah, so are you close to meet up? I'm Northern Virginia. Yeah, I would be close enough to go there. For instance, I've talked, I think, rather detailed about how I used to work in Loudoun County and grew up in more of Northern Virginia on the 95 corridor. So yeah, maybe we'll do something and figure out something, because I know I've talked with some other people that
Dead man, there's a chance he would meet up with you, but it would probably be at Slenderdad's place. So there's a very good chance he would step on a landmine on your way up, because he's not going to give you the map.
I mean,
just to
yeah.
keep the anonymity.
Yeah, make sure that the claymore is facing the enemy, this side towards enemy. No, it's yeah. I think that something in the Mid Atlantic would be nice to kind of do, because I think there is a solid amount of us around here. I think there's some people I know of that might be more in Tennessee based. Some people I think we know of who are in the southern part of Virginia. I think, was it Mags who's also Virginia?
Not sure.
I think there's
Mags
some
has
other.
kind of disappeared.
Yeah, now you mention it, I haven't seen. Yeah, I haven't seen her around. That is a good point. Yeah. Are you? This one's more for Brahma because that's his zone. Going to Vegas again next year for Comix.
I will be there. As long as I have the monetary ability to be. There's some things happening in the background, but yeah. I'm planning on being in Vegas next year, although Vegas is moving back to later in the year from what I have heard, and it's just rumor only, because really it's Gary who decides all this crap. So instead of it being in, what have we been doing, April, I think it's going to be closer to August.
So I think the April might have been too close to the MegaCon one that the Geeks and Gamers people seem to be doing regularly now down in Florida.
Well, April was because we were doing it on Gary's birthday. We were going to Vegas for Gary's birthday for the meetup. But I think it's changing, but I'm not sure.
Bad Take Motion saying that they got a timeshare in Virginia. Yeah. I will say that Virginia's got some nice places where you could totally arrange meetup time things. Like, we have one of the, I would say, best regional theme parks in the country with King's Dominion is good, or Busch Gardens, if you're more into drinking, which Brahma might enjoy.
Is that your phone?
Did I haven't, what, beeping?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I hear a phone, but it's not a ring that happens in my house. It's weird.
No, my phone isn't ringing. I have my phone.
Maybe somebody's
silent.
walking by the house. I don't know.
Oh, you know what it was? I wonder if a certain person we know sent you a message because he finally responded.
No, my phone's directly in front of me.
Okay.
It was not a ringtone of mine.
Yeah, so anyway, but yeah, I mean,
Robbie, do not take my word on anything, because I do not know Gary's mind. I've just been told that we may be changing it. I would not book rooms yet. Plus, you know how Gary likes to announce things like a month out instead of giving us like 4 or 5 months notice. I've just heard there has been talk.
I've heard things.
Things, yes.
It's, yeah, meetups. Well, on the plus side, hopefully they'll give you guys plenty of notice. So Oh, now we've got to believe it is changing. Yeah, I mean, they tend to give notice when those things.
I tend to be more in the know than most people because I do a show with Comix. So, but I don't know for sure. I would love to have it set on a same timeline every single year. That way we could all plan and actually buy tickets and hotel rooms and all that kind of crap, plenty in advance instead of getting gouged at the 1 month mark. But don't know. But I will be in Vegas. That may be the only one I have outside of the bro over.
I still can't believe earlier this year I lost my job, Brahma. That you should come to Vegas. You got nothing else to do.
Yeah. All you had to do is get a plane flight. I was paying for the room, and the room had 2 rooms plus a sitting area plus a kitchenette. We didn't even have to buy meals. And then Eric K feeds us. Then we go to the meetups, and I mean, I just take a bottle of Buffalo Trace. So you don't even drink, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of alcoholic beverages. Why would
You literally would have just had to have paid for the flight. And it's not like you were losing wages. You had no wages coming in.
think of what you just said? You would have only had to pay for the flight, and you wouldn't have lost wages because you had no wages coming in. So it's definitely still a net loss, bro.
Would it have been? Because there have been super chats. I could have given you a share of the super chats that you so often grift for.
That's true.
Just to get you out there.
Maybe we'll build up to it.
I still want to do Amfest. And I think with your very challenging personality, Amfest could be very fun with some of the right wingers if it happens again next year.
Yeah, that could Amfest could be interesting. Did Culture go to Amfest?
Yeah, he did for a couple days. I think yes, Dr. Jones, half of the Millennium fandom is now gone, so that will not be where the meetup is when we have one. We didn't do it last year at Millennium fandom either. We had to go about a block and a half over because with half of that bar gone, it was already small to begin with. So yeah, Culture went for a few days. I don't know that he did any interviewing this year because the health issues, but would have been an interesting one to have had a few talks with people. I think the person who came out cleanest out of all of it was probably Michael Knowles. He was the first night. He got in and out without being a part of the Ben Shapiro or the Tucker Carlson thing or Megyn Kelly. He just kind of went in, did his 30-minute hit or 20-minute hit, and got out without doing anything controversial.
Yep. Michael Knowles is, I think, the only knock that Knowles has from this past year, and this is not any, and I don't even think it's really bad for him, was the interview with Nala. I mean, I think I would have wanted to wait a little bit longer to see her transition.
He did a follow-up.
Did he?
Yeah. He also interviews some strange people. I mean, on the Not Main show, he does some different things. Like he's interviewed people who claim to have died and seen God and then come back to their body, that kind of thing. He likes to get into some of the weird. I don't know. I like Michael. He's so straight-laced and laid back. I would love to have a cigar and a drink with Michael Knowles. Most people hate him because he's so very, very Catholic. But I think he's got, as Christian Catholic, that kind of stuff. I think he's got very well measured takes, and I think he's funny. I don't think most people get his sense of humor. Just like I don't think most people get Matt Walsh's sense of humor if you don't watch him on the daily. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's definitely a he's very dry and deadpan, which is funny. I like
Walsh.
Knowles and Walsh. But I think Knowles is a more control, like Walsh.
Walsh
says,
has his very, very bad takes that he
Yeah.
knows are bad takes, but he's going to say them anyway. Knowles just avoids that altogether. If it's something he doesn't wade into things that he doesn't have anything to say, good or bad. He just kind of does his thing. I think he's probably the most well balanced out of all of them. At Daily Wire, at least.
Yeah, Matt Walsh he's got, and I know he does it now just because, but the anime takes.
I think it's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, and the game takes.
It pisses you guys off, but I think it's hilarious.
Because anime is awesome, and people need to leave that alone. Base Japan.
I have enjoyed Noel's new show where he goes into a bar fight where they're all drinking and doing a full-on argument, debate, whatever you want to call it. He's only done like 3 of them, but it's been pretty funny.
I mean, that is a good concept.
I don't know why our scrolling feed has so much sports on it when it's the feed for politics.
Because, I don't know, right after the Bears, we have the DC pipe bomb suspect.
Right. It's weird.
DC pipe bomb suspect says someone needed to speak up about stolen election. Yeah, bullshit.
I think, Tina, Matt Walsh is not as likable because he is so dry and because he says what needs to be said quite often. But he does throw in those opinions that great people like the gaming and the anime thing. And I think that's just Walsh gets the same thing that I do all the time. Walsh is what is he, like 36 years old? I'm 44. We're both 70-year-old men in a 34 or 44-year-old body. But I play a lot more games.
Completely.
But he gets the old man in a young man's body thing, just like I do all the time.
Completely random off-topic comment. No one is gonna ever mainstream facial tattoos for me. I think they are off-putting and messed up, and I don't know why people are getting them in such high quantities now.
So you don't like Tom McDonald?
No, I don't. I think it's stupid. I think I wouldn't. How do I put this?
I thought the thing with Ben Shapiro was funny, but outside of that, I don't like rap in general, so I don't like Tom McDonald anyway.
Any
I don't disagree with some of the, the things that he's saying in his music, but I am not a fan of the music, so it doesn't matter.
Well, anybody who gets a face tattoo is
basically says I'm unemployable.
It's not just that; it's like it's purposely being socially aggressive from the beginning. Like they are trying to be a social outcast.
Soul Assassin, look it up. I'm not sure that's what his age is. He could be 33. I think he's 36 to 38, somewhere in there.
Well, here you go. Grew up in the tattoo industry, hate face tattoos. Yeah, you had like the mindset to get a tattoo on your face is not rational. Like I remember when Mike Tyson got that tattoo on his face. And everyone rightly was like, that is stupid. And it became a joke in The Hangover, like, why would you ever tattoo your face? And now people
I
are
mean, I
getting
thought
them
it looked
all
good
over
on
the
Ed
place.
Helms.
By the way, why did they get rid of Heather Graham by the second movie? That didn't make sense. Yeah.
But that
Removing,
raises a question. What is your last good comedy?
like, where I didn't just chuckle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about it on Ascendant Art that Fackham Hall was disappointing.
Right.
Super disappointing. I liked the new Naked Gun.
Sure.
So
Before that, when is your last comedy? Because
let
most
me,
people go to Tropic Thunder.
I think there was some after that. I'm going to my Plex list and I'm going to sort by genre so that I can kind of see.
Yeah, Walsh is 39. Well, I'm 44, Soul Assassin, and most people say I've aged worse than Walsh did, if you're mad. Because he makes fun of me constantly.
Where is release date? There we go. All right. Why the heck would Running Man? Never mind.
Running Man officially hit streaming, didn't it?
There's been some updates if you want to check the supply,
I
including
know.
your top of the years on there. All right, I'm going through. Bottoms made me laugh. I enjoyed that one, but I think that I'm in the minority.
Yeah.
No Hard Feelings had some funny moments, but I don't think it was
That's a rom-com.
Yeah.
Or am I thinking of the wrong movie? No, I'm thinking of Anybody But You. What was No Hard Feelings?
That was the one with Jennifer Lawrence where she was trying to
Oh,
help
yeah.
the
Where she goes
failure to
full on
launch.
nude on the beach.
I mean, do we count Bullet Train as a comedy? Because it was an action comedy, and I really liked that one.
No, I'm talking about a straight comedy.
Okay, straight comedy. I'm going through.
Meant to be a comedy, not to be something else. I've got one in mind that I don't think I think everybody overlooks.
I'm going.
And I think I've mentioned it with you even, but
I'm into 2018, and I am not seeing one yet. I'm keep going. All right, this is gonna sound bad. 2018, Blockers. I actually really laughed my ass off in that movie.
I don't even know what that is.
That was the one like with John Cena, where his daughter's going to prom, and it's like three parents.
Overprotective dad.
Yeah, the three parents and their three daughters are going to prom, and they're worried because the daughters are all planning to lose their V cards, and
Okay.
and it's just funny. Cena, I will say, the Cena commits, man, when he's in a movie.
Cena commits in everything.
Yeah,
to the point that he's done Amy Schumer for some reason.
Yep.
Gross.
Well, yeah. Well, so that was so. Oh, this Tina? Are you agreeing with me that it was such a fun movie?
Yeah, she is. So,
Oh,
Bad Take
man. Oh,
is agreeing with you.
Do you count Game Night as a comedy? Because I really like that one too. Game Night and Tag, I actually really both enjoy those.
I really like Tag. Game Night, I somewhat remember. The last great one for me was Why Him. But I would put Tag up there. Do you remember Why Him?
Which one? Who was in that one?
It was Cranston.
Oh, wait, yeah. Where
Megan Delali, or whatever her name is, and Franco. Where he's like the tech millionaire and the dad. They're going out for Christmas to meet her new boyfriend, and he's a tech millionaire. And it's got Key in there being his like personal trainer, that they do like parkour fights just randomly throughout the movie. Did you ever see it?
I think I remember the trailers, but I didn't watch it.
Oh, you should watch it. It's
Going
freaking
back
hilarious.
to 2017 Baywatch, Baywatch made me laugh a lot. I think
But
me and
was it
Matt.
meant to be a comedy?
Yes, it was a comedy. It was funny. I think Matt agrees. That was another one that
I watched it. I thought it was funny. I didn't know that it was intentionally trying to be funny.
The one with The Rock and Zac Efron. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 100% designed to be a goofy comedy. Oh, you know what it does? And another one, Daddy's Home 2. Not the first one. The first one was good, but the second one with Mel Gibson and John Lithgow, where
I
they're
don't
on the
think I saw
Christmas
that one.
vacation. Oh my god, is fucking hilarious.
Let me
They're-
look what year Why Him came out. (2016).
Michael Jones, is Bottoms a gay comedy? Yes, it is, but it's still funny. I thought it was funny, at least. It reminded me a lot of Heathers. If you did film teaching, it's very much in the vein of Heathers, where it's a hyper real, like its own hyper reality. Yep.
And did you see that just because you had the AMC pass, or because you wanted to see the gays?
At that point, it was the Alamo Draft House pass. I've had a subscription for
So
a
you're
long
blaming
time.
it on the pass, not your love for gays.
I mean, number one, lesbians are different than gays. So I should clarify. It's a lesbian comedy.
I don't know
Including
what the hell it is. So, is it the one about cheerleaders?
cheerleaders were involved. They were like they made a girl fight club.
Like they're the base of the pyramid, or the ones
No,
that catch people?
no, they make again. It's in the vein of Heathers. It's they come up with two lesbian friends, decide to make a girl fight club as a way to get closer to the crushes they have, which are the top cheerleaders, including one of them is Cindy Crawford's daughter, who looks like a freaking clone of Cindy Crawford, and she's like 20 years old. It's ridiculous that she looks so much like her mom. So they form this girl fight club, and it's just it's so freaking just out of, like, it doesn't make sense. It's funny in the moment, like it's absurdist, and it's like reality. And Marshawn Lynch is in there playing a teacher, and
eating Skittles.
Yeah, he does eat this. And he has, like, Marshawn Lynch is actually surprisingly good at comedic timing, because he's just like, I'm an ally, but I can't put up with this shit. You can't just be punching each other. It's like, and, for people who know who Marshawn Lynch is, he's beast mode running back from Seattle Seahawks fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one was good, but yeah, Daddy's Home 2 is a Christmas movie, so it's in the season. If you haven't already watched it, you don't need to see the first one. They give you plenty of context for the idea that Will Ferrell is the stepfather to Mark Wahlberg's kids. He, where he remarried Mark Wahlberg's ex-wife, and then Mark Wahlberg now has married someone new and is now the stepfather, and the father to that kid is John Cena, who but for the setup, they go on Christmas vacation, and they invite Mark Wahlberg's dad, who is Mel Gibson, and Will Ferrell's dad, who is John Lithgow.
Is this the one where the brother kisses his own sister?
Stepsister. But yeah.
Okay. I've seen that scene.
Yeah, it's funny when they're
I
all
don't
like,
think I've seen the rest of the movie.
Because and Mel Gibson, who is the guy who taught him to, like, do the moves, is like, yeah, that's great. And everyone else is like, oh, no, don't do it.
Go for it. All right. Yeah. Well, it's 1 a.m. your time. It's 11 o'clock my time. I can go for another 3 hours, but I know you've got work. So we should probably wrap up.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Which wrap up means we're not doing more outros, because we already did those 45 minutes ago.
We did.
We are just going to say good night, everybody. hope you enjoyed the extra broadcast, and Happy New Year.
Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
And a Happy New Year.
Booyah.
You won't see him again until after.
Well, we have a MadEPAP.
You'll only see copied kitty.
That's true. If you guys join us on MadEPAP, you'll see us before the end of the year. If not, Happy New Year's.
You'll see Robbie too. All right. Catch you all later. Have a great night.
All right. Later.